Good evening. I'm Steve Gaines along with Eric Fenstermaker at Charlottesville's Crutchfield Ballpark for Valley League Baseball, where tonight the Harrisonburg Turks visit Charlottesville to face the red-hot Charlottesville Tom Sox, winners of 10 of their last 11. And Eric, this week it's been a combination of a one-hit shutout and a big-time blowout.
Yeah, the Tom Sox pitching has carried them really well. And the Tom Sox pitching has been incredibly dominant, and their bats have been a little hit or miss. So it'll be interesting to see with a good Harrisonburg's Church pitching staff to see how this Tom Sox team responds.
Last night, 11-4, I believe, was the final down in Covington. The big inning, a 7-run, was it 7th inning?
7th inning, 7 runs.
All with 2 outs?
All with 2 outs,
Yes.
yeah. Adam Cesari, the big name from that game, 4 for 5 on the day. 2 home runs, and I'll tell you what, they weren't even in doubt. You heard him off the bat. You knew they were gone, so look for him to repeat tonight.
So the Tom Sox come in at 21-7, well entrenched in first place in the South Division. All the other teams are under 500, so they're in a pretty good position. Tonight, Steven Restuccio will get the start for the Tom Sox. He is a right-hander out of Hamilton, New Jersey. Plays at Northwest Florida State College. Comes in with an ERA of 6.00 and a win-loss record of 2-1. He's made 5 appearances. He started a couple of times. He's worked 15 innings, given up 20 base hits and 13 runs, 10 of those earned. He's walked 5 while striking out 15. So he's had a little bit, it sounds like a kind of a shaky season thus far, but tonight's maybe an opportunity for him to get things straightened out.
Yeah, he's definitely had his ups and downs and moments, but this Tom Sox pitching staff as a whole has been incredibly dominant. So even if Restuccio does falter, there'll be other guys who can come in and take that mantle, but I think Restuccio's going to have a bounce-back night tonight.
So he will face a Turk team that is a little bit on the skids right now. They've lost 4 of their last 6, so kind of going the opposite way of the Tom Sox. So they come in looking to try and turn things around. And as we mentioned on Monday night, this same Tom Sox team and pitching staff one-hit the Turks.
Yeah, I was there for most of that game in Harrisonburg, and it was a pretty dominant performance from the Tom Sox. It wasn't anything that just stood out too much, but it was just complete control from the beginning, and the Tom Sox really just took control of that game.
So we're ready to get started here with Clay Lockett, Peyton Crispin, and Michael Rosario. 1, 2, and 3 here for the Harrisonburg Turks. Clay Lockett will lead it off. He is a right-hand hitting shortstop, takes the first pitch inside at the knees, a little low, ball 1. He comes in hitting at 224 on the year. He's got 17 base hits. 4 of them are doubles. He's got also a home run and 6 RBIs. And there's a pitch just missing inside, and quickly Restuccio is behind 2-0.
Yeah, the Harrisonburg Turks come into this game needing to get some hits. They're last in runs and second least in hits, so they'll need to respond tonight.
Pitch missing way outside, 3-0. You don't want to be a poor offensive team against this Tom Sox pitching staff.
Now, like you meant, the Tom Sox have one of the best bullpens in the entire league statistically.
Big strikeout pitching staff as well. And there's a called strike on the inside corner right at the knees. 3 balls, 1 strike to Clay Lockett, the leadoff hitter, playing center field for the Turks.
Like you mentioned, with that dominant bullpen, the Tom Sox currently sit at 3.58 with their ERA, which is the best in the VBL.
3-1 pitch is chopped foul toward the Turks dugout. One-handed there by a coach. Tossed back into play. 3 balls and 2 strikes now to the leadoff hitter, Clay Lockett.
It'll be interesting to see if Restuccio can get the strikeout here. The Harrisonburg Turks are the 3rd most struck out team in the VBL with 274, so look for Restuccio to try to get a 3rd pitch swing here.
Payoff pitch, swung on and hit back up the middle, and that's going to sneak through for a base hit just past the glove of Will Safford as he crossed over to his right. And a leadoff single on a 3-2 pitch for Clay Lockett, and the Turks are aboard with nobody out, and that'll bring up Peyton Crispin, who is the left fielder. Crispin is a left-hand hitter, comes in hitting at 230 on the year. He's got a double, 9 RBIs, no homers. Batting here with nobody out and a runner at first to start this ball game. We'll see if the Turks play small ball here at the top half of their lineup. From the set, Restuccio comes to the plate, swung on and fouled back out of play. Strike 1. So Crispin not showing bunt there and swinging away at the first pitch.
And although there's a guy on first, you don't have to worry about Harrisonburg stealing. They actually have the least steals in the VBL with 19.
Swing and a miss, strike 2. Took something off that one. Beautiful pitch, and he went fishing for it way outside. So Crispin in a hole, 0-2 with designated hitter Michael Rosario on deck for the Turks. Looking in for the sign is Restuccio. Quick check over toward the runner. Now a slow toss over just to let him know he's thinking about him.
Yeah, Harrisonburg with just 19 steals on the year. The Tom Sox, on the other hand, have the most with 89, so 70 steals between the two is a difference.
Swing and a miss at another off-speed pitch. It was, again, out of the strike zone, and so Crispin goes down swinging for the first out. Big strikeout there for, and he did get a piece of it, didn't he?
I think he got just enough. It looked like a strikeout to me, honestly. I had to wait and see, but
I guess the catcher didn't catch it. Totally missed that.
I think he might have got the smallest part of the bat on that one.
So count remains 0-2. Another throw over. This one a little bit quicker, but still back easily as the runner Lockett. From the set, the two-strike pitch. Fastball is grounded back up the middle. Shortstop is over. On his knees, Guidry's up with it. He steps on the second bag and throws to first, but just a little late. Nice play by Guidry behind the bag and then took it himself across second and through to first, but not quite in time to get Rosario.
2 hits, both back at Restuccio, but an absolutely great play by Guidry there. Able to have the heads up to step on second. Almost makes the throw over to first. It's probably a second late on that one, but just a heads-up play to keep it from being 2 hits right away.
So fielder's choice is the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up Michael Rosario, the designated hitter. He's the leading hitter on this Turks team, and kind of give you a picture of the way they are struggling at the plate. Here's a pitch that gets away. Noah Luis hit him. I guess it caught him down on the foot. Didn't see much of a reaction. The ball kicked back to the screen, but he's on his way to first. So runners at first and second. Crispin down at second base. Rosario now with a hit by pitch is at first with 1 out, and that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Logan McNeely. He is the catcher.
And Michael Rosario and Logan McNeely, 2 of the All-Stars for the Harrisonburg Turks. The game will be this Sunday in Harrisonburg. 2 of their 5 guys will be represented at their own home stadium at JMU.
McNeely coming in at 282 on the year. 11 base hits, 4 of them are doubles. He's got 7 RBIs, and he's got 2 on here with 1 out. First pitch is a breaking ball outside. Ball 1 to Rosario. Rosario, big, tall right-hand hitter against the righty Steven Restuccio. Working from the stretch. The 1-0 pitch swung and hit in the air, and that's going to drift foul out of play on the right side.
It'll be really interesting to see what the Charlottesville Tom Sox do at the end result with this game, because going into the season they were 13-17 in the all-time series. With their 4-1 record this season, they moved to 7-18. So look for the Tom Sox trying to make it 18-18 all-time against the Harrisonburg Turks.
Even that thing up.
Even it up, exactly.
1 ball, 1 strike pitch, a breaker that missed inside. 2-1. McNeely jumping a little bit out of the way of that one.
Hopefully Restuccio will be able to respond here. I mean, he's already got a couple of guys on base here, and it's the first thing. You don't want to set that bad tone. Hopefully he can get out without allowing a run.
2-1 pitch, misses high, 3 balls and 1 strike. Restuccio has already had 1 full count this inning. Now he's at 3-1. To Logan McNeely with the number 5 hole hitter Derek Crum on deck for the Turks.
Right in the meat of the lineup for Harrisonburg.
3-1 pitch is hit straight up in the air toward the first base side. First baseman coming under it, and Cesare has it for the out. Soft little pop fly for the second out. Much needed, a pitcher's best friend there. And that'll bring up Derek Crum. Crum is the right fielder for the Turks. Comes in hitting at 208. He's played in 12 games. He has just 24 at bats thus far. 5 base hits, 1 for a double. He's driven in 2 runs.
He also pitches a little bit, so it's kind of cool to see a guy who can play in the outfield and pitch and kind of do everything for this Harrisonburg team.
And my understanding is a couple of position players pitched for the Tom Sox last night.
Yes, they did. Eddie Iser and Garrett Spikes. They've had a lot of guys. Cole Foster, Cal Stark have also pitched as well.
First pitch is a beauty on the outside corner at the knees to the left-hand swinging Crum for strike 1. So 2 away now with runners still at first and second for the Turks. Restuccio trying to wriggle off a little bit of a hook here. Checks the runner at second. Guidry back to his position at short, and a little off-speed pitch catches the outside corner again right at the knees, and 0-2.
That was nice. You could tell as it was coming in, it was just going to find that outside part if it did find the plate. Froze the batter right there. Didn't know how to swing there.
Slightly open stance for the left-hand hitting Crum. Now the 2-strike pitch way outside. A little high as well. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Crum plays at Wake Forest. He is from Tampa, Florida. Way, way outside and nicely nabbed by Garrick Ebel to hold the runners. He had to really get out from behind his crouch to get that one. And with that, the pitching coach for the Tom Sox is going to make a visit to the mound. I'm not sure if he saw something in the throw that he didn't like or what.
Yeah, John Maley's put together a really good bullpen and gotten a lot of guys from different schools to kind of coalesce and come together for a lot of talented performances. So probably just going to go out, make sure that, his head's in the right place and start this game off strong. Kind of weird to see a pitch get away from him, though, as the Tom Sox are actually tied with this Harrisonburg team for the least wild pitches in the league. So kind of uncharacteristic for him.
And perhaps that's why he wanted to go out and settle him down. This team certainly does pitching by committee and does it quite well.
It's one of the Tom Sox love to do is that, platoon style where everybody kind of gets in and you do your job and you get out of there. So
Deuces wild, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. And here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. And that will retire the side. So the Turks leave 2 on. There was 1 base hit in the inning, 2 left. No runs, though. We are through the first half inning, and there is no score here in Charlottesville. Back at Crutchfield Ballpark, Tom Sox and the Harrisonburg Turks on the mound for the Turks tonight. It's Adam Riggleman, who is a right-hander. He comes in with an ERA of 15 on the year, but he's only worked in 3 innings pitched. He's given up 5 runs, all of them earned, made 2 appearances. This is his 2nd start on the year, so he is also hoping to kind of turn things around. He has struck out 3 and walked 5. So shaky start so far.
Yeah, not much experience for Riggleman here. The last time he pitched was against Charlottesville on Monday. He pitched for 1 inning and allowed a hit. So not a very experienced pitcher, but like I mentioned, Harrisonburg has a lot of talented guys. So the Tom Sox bats will have to be on their game tonight if they want to score runs against Harrisonburg.
Riggleman is a 6'2 senior out of Melbourne, Florida, plays at Glenville State. And he will face Pierce Bennett, Logan Amos, and Garrick Ebel, 1, 2, and 3 for the Tom Sox here in the home half of the first inning. Pierce Bennett will lead things off.
Good to see Pierce Bennett back.
Was he missing for a while?
Missing for a good period of time, yeah.
Takes the first pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Bennett comes in hitting at 286. This would be his 14th game of the year. He's got 3 doubles, a triple, a home run, and 4 RBIs. Breaking ball misses low and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Heard he was also working on getting his driver's license in the time he was away from the team.
Well, that's an important thing to work on.
Exactly.
1-1 pitch. A slider that catches the outside corner. Pretty pitch. A ball and 2 strikes.
If you can't get to the ballpark and you can't drive to get here, what good is your bat? So
we got to have him here. That's right. Swing and a miss. Just got a piece of it. Second time that's happened to me. Fooled me with the little foul tip kicked away from catcher McNeely, so the count holds at a ball and 2 strikes.
I got fooled there as well. I thought he completely missed it as well. I was getting ready to write the K down in my book.
1-2 pitch, check, swing, catches the outside corner. I think that's what the call is going to be, that he went down looking for the first out. So that'll bring up Logan Amos. Amos comes in batting at 250 on the year. He has got 3 base hits and 12 base hits and 48 at bats, 4 doubles. He's driven in 9. He's a left-hand hitter facing the righty Adam Riggleman. Takes a fastball on the inside corner for a strike.
Logan Amos has been one of those guys who's been red hot for the Tom Sox. On the 4th of July, he was 3 for 4, one of the major offensive catalysts in that game.
Off-speed pitch swung on and missed by Amos, and he's in a hole 0-2 here with Garrick Ebel, the catcher, on deck for the Tom Sox. Two-strike offering. Tried to go inside, get him to chase after it, but no go, and so the count goes a ball and 2 strikes.
Tom Sox are 4-1 against this Harrisonburg team so far this year. They'll play him 8 times, tied for the second most that we'll see this season.
There's a ball hit over toward where the kids hang out to chase baseballs for a foul out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And you weren't kidding. It looks like a couple kids just try to tackle each other to round up that ball.
I have sat over there. It gets crazy watching the kids. Swing and a soft liner toward right, and the right fielder took about 3 steps, Derek Crum, and took it in for the out. 2 up and 2 down. And that'll bring up Garrick Ebel. He is the catcher for the Tom Sox. Ebel comes in at 219 on the year.
I was surprised Crum had to move at all. It looked like he was going to have to stand still.
He barely moved, maybe 1 step. Ebel's got 14 base hits. 4 of them are extra bases, doubles. He's got 12 RBIs. Comes in tonight in the 3-hole for the Tom Sox, batting with nobody on, 2 away. And the first pitch is a breaking ball, called strike.
Interesting to see Garrick here at the 3 spot. Kind of different rotation. We've seen Garrick play a lot at the first spot, the leadoff. Now he's going 3 tonight. Kind of a different rotation for the Tom Sox there.
1 strike pitch, just a little high. Couldn't have been missed by much.
I thought that was prettier than the first strike.
Yeah. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ebel. Here's the windup and the pitch. Fastball is right at the knees, down the middle for a called strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So we had a rainstorm earlier, might have kept some fans away, but now it's not a bad evening. A little on the muggy side. 1-2 pitch missing way outside and backhanded by the catcher, McNeely. 2-2.
I checked my weather forecast. It said 89 degrees and 15% chance of rain. And then I checked out my window about 2 hours before first pitch and saw 100% chance of rain.
It came out of nowhere. 2-2 offering again goes way outside, and now the count goes full to Ebel with Garrett Spikes on deck should Ebel get on board.
It's unfortunate the game had to be pushed back, but it's a lot better to have to play a game a little bit later than not be able to play the game at all.
Especially for the Turks to have to make a trip again.
Exactly.
Off-speed pitch just misses, and Ebel is aboard with a base on balls. First base runner for the Tom Sox comes with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first, and that'll bring up Garrett Spikes, who is the right fielder. And he is coming in at 266 on the year. Spikes with 17 base hits and 64 at-bats, 3 doubles, 3 home runs. So he's leading the team in home runs. 15 RBIs. Also leading in that category, swings and hits a high pop foul.
Garrett Spikes on the 4th of July added some of his own fireworks before we got to see some from the Tom Sox, putting one over the center field fence. Absolute beaut.
We saw him hit one over the dead center field fence earlier in the year as well, which is not an easy thing to do in this ballpark.
No, not at all.
The ball does not carry here. 1 strike offering, swung on, chopped toward the first baseman who backhands it nicely, and Sweeney will step on the bag for the out. So the Sox are done. They get a man on board with a walk, but he is stranded there. No runs across, 1 man left. We're through an inning, and it's a scoreless ball game here in Charlottesville. We are heading to the home half of the second inning, a scoreless ball game here in Charlottesville. 6, 7, and 8 for the Harrisonburg Turks tonight. Steve Gaines and Eric Fenstermaker along with you on a muggy night, but Eric the weatherman says it's going to be okay.
I hope. I mean, he was wrong early about the rain, so I'm hoping he's right now, but there's a lot of fans that came out and stayed out, and they're still on the hill and in the bleachers, so it's good to see the Tom Sox have a loyal following despite the weather.
Actually kind of surprising because it was quite a downpour right around 5:30, 6 o'clock, and there was a lot of speculation as to how many people might show up tonight, but it's not a bad crowd.
There's a little speculation if they were going to play, period.
Right.
So it's good to see that the Tom Sox got this game, and I know Harrisonburg had a ton of rainouts earlier in their season. The Tom Sox have had a couple as well, so good to be able to get some baseball in and not have to waste a trip like you mentioned.
6, 7, and 8 for the Turks. Bryce Safarwich will lead it off. He is the shortstop, hitting at 154 on the year. He's got 10 base hits, 1 for a double, 7 runs batted in. He's a right-hand hitter. Steven Restuccio on the mound in his second inning of work, starting the game tonight for the Tom Sox. First pitch is a breaking ball, missing low and away, ball 1.
Now, when the Tom Sox have played this team 5 times, they won their second game, and they won that. The Turks did because of Bryce Safarwich. He had 3 hits and an RBI in that game. He was one of their big bats.
Swung on, broke his bat, grounder slowly toward third base. Up with it is Bennett, the throw to first, and he's got him. The bat was just sawed off in half. Took a lot off the ball, so Bennett had to charge it, but he played it nicely for the out.
I haven't seen many broken bats in my day because we usually played with metal when I was a kid, but it seems like over the last couple of games we've seen a lot more broken bats and in a lot of different splinters and formations.
It's an expensive thing having the wood bats, but it's really important for their development for those guys that are trying to move on because you've got to learn how to hit wood bats. So different than hitting the non-wood bats. Frederick Walter will be the hitter for the Harrisonburg Turks. Third baseman, first pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 1. Walter comes in at 232 on the year. 13 hits, 3 doubles, 7 runs batted in. He's also struck out 24 times. The pitch is bounced about 58 feet, backhanded by Garrick Ebel, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike.
I mean, you bring up the strikeouts. The Harrisonburg Turks have the 5th most strikeouts in the VBL with 238. Tom Sox the least with 209, so hopefully Restuccio can make their number go up.
1-1 pitch is inside, 2-1, and Tom Sox pitching staff, one of the best, if not the best, with strikeouts.
Yes, they are.
So it's should be a strikeout night, you would think. 2-1 offering, swung on and chopped foul toward the on-deck circle for the Turks, and the count is 2-2.
Tom Sox have 210 strikeouts this season. A lot of guys like Brady Kurtner and Dylan Yannock have really brought this team to life when it comes to tossing the rock.
Restuccio with the sign and the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and chopped again, foul. Right behind him toward the on-deck circle.
And that is the good thing for the Tom Sox. If guys go out and they foul off a lot of pitches, a lot of teams that'll rack up their pitch counts and kind of mess with their plan. The Tom Sox plan on having multiple guys come in so they're a little bit more experienced if guys go and foul off multiple pitches.
2-2 offering, breaking ball was way inside. Looked like it might have slipped a little bit out of his hand, so the count goes full, 3-2. Jordan Sweeney, the number 8 hitter, on deck for the Turks. 1 out, nobody on here in the top of the second. Swing, and he just got a piece of it. Just enough to keep it away from Ebel's mitt, so he stays alive at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Gary Giebel also back at catcher. I've seen a lot of Wyatt Langford behind the dish, so interesting to see the Virginia Tech kid getting a different spot in the batting order, in a different spot in the field.
It's great work for him, I'm sure. 3-2 pitch is inside. He had to bend out of the way of that one, so a base on balls for Frederick Walter. Restuccio has hit a man back in the first and walked a guy here in the second. A 1-out walk, and that'll bring up Jordan Sweeney, a right-hand hitter for the Turks. He is their first baseman, comes in at 247 on the year. 19 base hits. He's up near the top of the Turks lineup with that number of hits, also with doubles of 4, and tied for the lead with 3 home runs for the Turks. First pitch is swung on and fouled out of play. He's also got 9 runs batted in, and he's walked 9 times. But he struck out 32 times.
I like when that number keeps going up.
Yeah. So he leads the Turks with 32 strikeouts at the plate. From the set, here's the 0-1 pitch. Check swing on an outside corner pitch, and that's a called strike. 0-2 now to Sweeney.
Harrisonburg Turks had just 10 home runs on the year, which is actually the least. The Tom Sox were tied with them at 10 until Adam Cesare said, I don't want that. He hit 2 yesterday, pushed them just above Harrisonburg.
2-strike pitch, swung on, hit it in the air, foul, back out of play, still 0-2. You know, in the years that I've been watching the Tom Sox, that's kind of been their MO. They don't have a lot of home runs, but they win with speed and a lot of base hits, extra base hits.
Yeah, the Tom Sox have already smashed their stolen base record for the entire season, and they're just over halfway through. They have 89 going into tonight, so Coach Kohler's put a huge precedent on that.
2-strike pitch, kicks away from the catcher and just off to his left, and he's unable to hold the runner that way. So down to second on probably a wild pitch, I'm guessing, is Frederick Walter.
Yeah, we just found out they ruled it a wild pitch. It kind of pretty common sense. It did bounce first. So again, Tom Sox second least in wild pitches. So maybe just Restucci's kind of uncharacteristic start to this season, but maybe something to watch out for as well.
So now runner in scoring position with a 1-2 count to Sweeney from the set, checking back toward the runner. Here's the pitch, swung on, and just got a piece of it to stay alive. The count holds, a ball and 2 strikes.
And with a guy like Restucci, who's had kind of an up and down season, you want to retire these batters as quick as possible. You don't really want things to linger because that's when kind of more mistakes can be made and kind of throw off your mojo.
He's taking a long lick into Garrett Giebel for those signs. Now checking the runner. The 1-2 pitch is fouled again, back out of play.
You talk about that long look in. I mean, I was on the bus with the team for a couple of their road trips to Percival and Covington. This team is really gelled, and it's kind of interesting to see with a lot of different schools how kids who would be rivals are now teammates. I think the guys have really come together, and it seems like they're a cohesive unit.
That's a great thing to hear. 1-2 pitch. Check swing on a breaking ball that went outside. He held up just enough, and so the count evens up at 2 apiece. Or did they ring him up?
They rung him up, apparently.
The umpire didn't make that very clear.
No, not at all.
So I guess that will go down as a strikeout. We'll take it. Second out of the inning.
Harrisonburg definitely did not agree with that call.
Second strikeout for Steven Restuccio, and that'll bring up Carlos Marte, the number 9 hole hitter for the Turks. Runner at second now and 2 outs. Swung on, chopper toward the third baseman, and up with it is Bennett. He'll throw across to Cesare for the out, and that will retire the side. There was a walk, but no damage done. Runner left on, and we are through an inning and a half. Harrisonburg nothing, and the Tom Sox nothing. We'll be back. Nothing, heading to the bottom of the second inning here in Charlottesville at Crutchfield Park. Adam Riggleman, right-hander for the Turks, working in his second inning so far. The bats for neither team have gotten off the schneid. There's been one base hit. It was a slow roller up the middle for the Turks. Adam Cesare, Wyatt Langford, Trevor Candelaria, 5, 6, and 7 for the Tom Sox to try to get something going here in the home half of the second. Cesare has been hot. Hit 2 home runs last night. And he's only been here for a few games, but he's come in and he's hitting at 400 in his short time here so far. 10 base hits, 3 doubles, and the 2 home runs. So half of his hits are for extra bases, plus 12 runs batted in. Swing and a miss at strike 1.
I'll tell you what. I mean, I know I mentioned earlier, but both of those home runs, one was to dead center, one was to right. They might still be traveling out there in Covington. They were just absolute bombs.
One strike pitch goes way outside, too far to get Cesare to chase after it, so that will even things up at 1 apiece. Left-hand hitter is Cesare.
Sometimes you just hear that bat in the ball and you just know instantly.
And here's a high fly ball to right field. The right fielder coming over to his left, right in front of the track, but he'll chase it down. Just didn't quite get the sweet spot on that. That'll go down as a fly out for the first out here in inning number 2, and Wyatt Langford, the designated hitter, will step in for the Tom Sox, and he is their number 1 hitter at this point in the season. He's been here most of the season, all of the season. He's hitting at .342, 25 hits, 5 doubles, 2 triples, a home run, 12 runs batted in. And I believe he's an all-star.
He is. He's currently the only Tom Sox player who is slated to play tonight, but we'll see if we get some other guys worked in there.
First pitch misses high, ball 1.
The other Tom Sox All-Stars, Brady Kurtner, Dylan Yannock, and Christian Worley from the pitching side. Wyatt Langford is playing tonight, and Cole Foster, who might come in as a DH. Or a PH, excuse me.
Breaking ball misses inside. It's 2-0. It's kind of surprising the Tom Sox with their record didn't get more players named, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I think it just speaks to how talented the VBL is this season.
2-0 pitch misses low, and so Wyatt Langford, the dangerous hitter, is way ahead in the count now. 3 balls and no strikes with Candelaria on deck. Here's the 3-0 offering, and he came right down Broadway, and Langford taking all the way, so it's 3 balls and a strike. Langford has walked 11 times on the year and also been hit 4 times. 3-1 pitch, swing and a miss. He was behind that one, and the count goes full.
Yeah, Wyatt Langford, ever since he's come to Charlottesville, has immediately stepped in and dominated batting-wise. So it's really good to see him get that all-star nod. I mean, I personally think he's the most deserving player on this roster to get the nod.
Payoff pitch, a fastball right down Broadway, and he knew it. So Langford walked right out of the box quickly for the second out there. 2 up and 2 down, and that'll bring up center fielder Trevor Candelaria. Candelaria has been here throughout the season. He is hitting at .250. 19 hits, 6 doubles, a triple, 2 homers, 12 runs batted in. Tall, lanky right-hander. Swung on and hit it on the ground ball toward the third baseman. He dove, couldn't quite come up with it, and it gets through into left field for a hit. That was a very sharply hit ball, and Walter was lucky to get a glove on it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just have to dive and pray, and you got enough, but just not quite enough to be able to come up with the ball. Just kind of redirects it into the outfield.
2-out single, so Candelaria is aboard for Cam Guidry, the shortstop. Working from the stretch is Riggleman. And here's the pitch way, way high. 1-0 to Cam Guidry, who comes in on the year at .246, 16 base hits. All of them singles. He's got 5 runs batted in.
It'd be good to see if they can get Cam on base. He's one of their speedsters that can rack up a couple of steals, but he had an 11-game hit streak that ended Monday against this Harrisonburg team, so might be looking to extract some revenge here.
1-0 pitch, and he chops that one toward the third baseman. He's going to have to charge barehanded, throws to first, and got him. Very nicely played by the third baseman, Frederick Walter, who had to overcome that speed and make a barehanded play, but he's able to do so, and so the 2-out hit goes for naught. 1 man is left. We're through 2. No score here in Charlottesville. No score here in Charlottesville on a muggy evening at the Crutchfield Park.
The Crutch. Yeah, I honestly never would have expected to be called the Crutch, but it seems like the nickname has caught on, and it's gained a lot of traction with the interns at least, and with a couple of fans.
You got to think that in time, if that sponsorship stayed around long enough, that probably would become kind of a known name. So I like it.
I've heard the Crutch because it leaves opposing teams injured because of the Tom Sock's great play.
Home record, yeah.
Yes.
Top of the order for the Turks here in inning number 3, Clay Lockett, Peyton Crispin, Michael Rosario. Lockett will step in. He singled. He has the only Turks hit of the ball game, and it was a slow roller back up the middle, just got through. Takes the first pitch outside, ball 1. So he was then cut down on a fielder's choice. So 1 for 1 is Lockett. Over the last week, he's hitting at 286. He fouls this one back out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Not surprising that the Tom Sox and the Turks haven't had many hits. The Turks have one of the best bullpens. The Tom Sox have one of the best bullpens, so we expect a kind of lower hitting game.
1-1 pitch to Lockett, the center fielder for the Turks. Right-hander against the righty Restuccio, who misses low on that one. 2-1 to Lockett. Lockett out of Oklahoma City, plays at Southern Nazarene. 2-1 offering is outside and low, 3-1.
If you're ever bored and you're looking for some like VBL trivia or inside knowledge, just go ahead and look at some of the rosters and see all the different schools that people come from. It's not just the LSUs and the Auburns. There's a lot of smaller schools as well that produce great talent.
3-1 pitch is hit back off the screen, and the count goes full 3-2. In fact, one of the great opportunities of the Valley League is for guys in some of the smaller colleges to play against guys from bigger colleges.
I'm a Penn State student, and I saw one of the players from another team actually went to a Penn State campus that wasn't the main one, but was a branch one. So, again, really cool to see players from all across the world playing here.
Payoff pitch, swung on, a chopper toward the shortstop, and up with it is Guidry. Throws to first with the sidearm and gets it. So 1 up and 1 down on the 6-4 there to start the 3rd inning. And that'll bring up Peyton Crispin. He grounded into a fielder's choice back in the 2nd, so he is 0 for 1 on the night. Left-hand hitter. He's a left fielder. Number 2 hole hitter is Restuccio, faces the top of the Turk lineup here in the top of the 3rd. First pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1.
The Turks have kind of made their money tonight, hitting the ball right back at Restuccio. We've seen a couple of hits now go right back at the pitcher.
But nobody's hitting it really hard.
No, just on the ground.
1 strike offering way outside, a ball and a strike. Here's the pitch, backs him out on a low and inside one, and that's 2 balls and 1 strike. Crispin has struggled a little bit over the last week. He's got 1 hit in his last 10 trips.
This is not the bullpen you want to face if you're struggling.
2-1 offering, and that one bounces right at the plate, and that will go to 3-1. So Restuccio is again a little behind on the count. He's had several 3-ball counts tonight, but has somehow managed to wriggle off of those in most cases.
If the Tom Sox emerge victorious tonight, they'll sweep the series against this team.
Here's a ball hit well and deep in the air, but it's going to go foul. Had that stayed fair, that was a no-doubter.
No doubt.
But that goes well beyond the Tom Sox bullpen into the tall trees out beyond right field, but it was foul. So Crispin got it all, but he was just a little bit ahead of it, so the count is 3-2. And here it comes. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. 2 up and 2 down.
And that's just unfortunate for the batter there. I mean, you have a ball that you basically a couple feet to the left, and you got a home run, and instead you're walking back with a strikeout.
Yeah, a strike that goes several hundred feet is just the same as one that you swing and miss. 2 up and 2 down. Michael Rosario, the DH, who was hit by a pitch his first time up. It was the first pitch he saw. He was stranded at first. He's a left-hand hitter. Takes this one a little inside, backs out of the way of it. 1 ball and no strikes to Rosario.
We were in Percival, and the same type of thing happened with the long fly ball that ended up going foul, and everybody started cheering, and one of our players just screamed, "Long strike."
Ground ball is gobbled up by the second baseman, but his throw pulls Cesare off the bag. He had to backhand it as he was going up the hole toward his right, and he was off balance on the throw. And that's going to be a base hit. Very tough play for Safford at second. Nicely played to keep it in the infield, but he was unable to make the throw then. And now head coach Corey Kohler is going to go out and talk to the umpire. I guess he's not pleased with the call.
Coach Kohler was, I think, pretty unpleased with a couple of calls we saw yesterday in Covington. There were a couple of times where runners went to steal, and I think the Tom Sox definitely applied the tag, and I think Coach Kohler agreed. But I think pretty consistently these VBL umpires do a pretty good job of doing this. I mean, there's a lot of bang-bang plays, and I would not want to be in their shoes.
And in fact, the umpires just had a discussion there, almost like doing a replay. But after the discussion, the infield umpire gave the safe sign, so it was as if he got confirmation from his compatriot behind the plate that it was the right call. I don't think I've seen that before. So runner at first with 2 outs, and that'll bring up cleanup hitter Logan McNeely. First pitch, a slider in there for a strike. McNeely popped out to the first baseman his first time. He is 0 for 1. Bats here with 2 outs and a runner at first.
I like that they didn't change the call. Even though it would have been the Tom Sox favor, I like that you stick with your gut there.
Breaking ball misses high, evening things up at a ball and a strike to McNeely. McNeely with 5 hits and 2 runs batted in over the past 6 games for the Turks. Here's a breaking pitch that misses outside and blocked nicely by Ebel, and the ball just bounces harmlessly in front of the plate. 2-1.
Should mention it is UVA night here at Crutchfield Park. There's orange and blue, Virginia balloons everywhere. There's a couple members of the track team and other sports teams here in attendance. Very thankful for the track team currently residing in their house this summer as I work for the internship. So
cool.
very thankful for the opportunity.
2-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Great fastball, 2-2.
And maybe it's just because Virginia's religion down here when it comes to sports, but I think a lot of Tom Sox fans are also coming out because they don't play at Crutchfield Park again for another week. Their next home game is the 14th, so a lot of fans were willing to brave the rain to get their Tom Sox fill because they won't have it for a week.
You don't often see a stretch that long either. It's kind of odd. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball missed high, and once again a full count. Restuccio has got himself into with the catcher Logan McNeely. Runner at first. He'll be going now with 2 outs, and so a gapper here potentially could score a run.
A lot of traveling for the Tom Sox. They just went to Percival. They just went to Covington. They'll be going to Newmarket this weekend.
3-2 pitch misses high, and that's a walk. So a 2-out walk puts runners at first and second for the Turks, and that will bring up Derek Crum, who struck out to end the first inning. He is 0 for 1 on the night, batting here with 2 on. And 2 out, same situation he had back in the first inning after a hit batsman and a fielder's choice.
And you mentioned Cole Foster, the All-Star, is not playing tonight. There he is selling 50-50 tickets to the crowd. So,
got to do it all.
You know, even if you're not in the field, you're still working, I guess.
Hopefully he's tall. You get a lot more tickets with a tall player selling your tickets. Swung on and fouled out of play down the left side, and there go the kids.
Looks like a dad was trying to chase a couple of the kids, and the kid said, "Dad, I got the speed. I'm going to blow right by you," and ended up snagging it from him.
It's not just the speed, it's the hunger. The kids have hunger to get those balls.
Oh, I'll tell you what. If you go to any VBL ballpark, especially Crutchfield Park, these kids take off, and they are ready to go for a foul ball.
1-strike pitch bends him out of the way on the inside. Almost hit him. It didn't quite. 1 ball and 1 strike to Crum.
I've been that kid chasing for a foul ball, but I have never seen the energy that I feel when I come to the VBL.
1-1 pitch outside. 2-1.
And I know a couple of ballparks around the league, they offer awards to the kids like freeze pops and food and drink if they bring the foul balls back. Yep. So it's a good way to keep their bottom line afloat because we do lose a lot of balls because of foul balls here at Crutchfield Park.
From the set, Restuccio checks the runner back at second. Here's the 2-1 offering, and that's a great-looking fastball right at the knees on the inside corner. Evens things up at 2-2. So once again, just as we had in the first inning, we have the deuces wild of 2 on, 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. As the sign does Restuccio, goes to the set. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and he got him. Second straight strikeout for Crum. second strikeout of the inning for Restuccio, and that leaves 2 aboard, and we are through 2.5 innings. Still no score here at Crutchfield Park in Charlottesville. We are at Crutchfield Park, 9-1-2 for the Tom Sox. Steve Gaines, Eric Fenstermaker. I had to look it up. I could remember Fenstermaker.
It's a Pennsylvania Dutch name, and I appreciate you saying Fenstermaker. I get a lot of Mocker. I've got a lot of Macher. I've got a lot of other things. So I appreciate that you got it right in the first time and stuck with it.
Yeah, you don't want to mispronounce a name. It's not good. Will Safford will lead it off. He is the second baseman, swings and lines one sharply into right field for a base hit. Jumped all over that one. Takes a big turn at first, and he's going to go and challenge the arm of the right fielder. The throw is right on time and right on the money, and they easily get him. He hesitated at first before taking off for second. I think that might have cost him. And also nicely played by the right fielder, Crum, who cut it off before he got to the wall. So a single and thrown out at second is Will Safford, the first out of the inning.
Yeah, Safford's speedy, but I think in that case you kind of bit off more than you could chew. Just take the single, walk away with it. Crum makes a great play, throws a laser to second, ran the money, and Safford was just a sitting duck at that point.
So that'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Pierce Bennett, and he bends out of the way of a slider that caught the inside corner back door for strike one. Bennett struck out looking his first time. He is 0 for 1. Check swing on a ball that's low and away, but that's going to be called a strike. Umpire says he did not hold up, so Bennett is in a hole 0-2 with Logan Amos on deck for the Tom Sox. 2-strike pitch way outside. Tried to get him to fish after it, but it was a little too far outside.
Be a deep cast there if you were fishing for. That was almost that was in the Raiders' batter's box, might be on the outside of the batter's box over there.
1-2 offering, and that one comes way inside, and he has to bend out of the way of that one. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Pierce Bennett.
Goes completely outside one way, goes completely inside.
And has to crouch down out of the way of that one coming inside, and the count goes full. Bennett over the last week is 3 for 6 with a triple and an RBI. He's played in a couple of the games.
It's from Baltimore, Maryland.
Payoff pitch is way outside, and so a 1-out walk for Bennett, which makes now the being thrown out at second look all that much larger. So there's 1 out and 1 on instead of no out and 2 on. And that'll bring up Logan Amos, who lined to right field his first time. It was a soft liner. He is 0 for 1. Bats here with a runner at first and 1 away. Sox do like to run.
I would expect Pierce Bennett to at least make some kind of movement.
First pitch is hit high in the air to right field. Right fielder going back. Crum is near the track. He is camped under it, and he will make the play. And retreating to first base is Amos. That ball was hit well, but just not quite on the sweet spot. And so Crum able to get that ball right in front of the warning track out in right field for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Garrick Ebel.
Yeah, I kept drifting, and I was hoping to just get a little more power to push it, but just not enough.
balls just for some reason don't carry well here in Charlottesville. They have not in all the years we've been coming to Tom Sox games.
Yeah, Tom Sox second least home runs. Again, the only team below them, this Harrisonburg Turks team.
So Ebel will come into the plate now with a runner at first and 2 outs. Ebel walked his first time. Riggleman will work from the stretch. Big lead, runner going. No, he bluffed going, and the first pitch is called strike. So it looked like the runner Bennett was going to take off, and either he didn't feel like he got a good jump or it was totally a bluff all the way. But nonetheless, he is still at first base with a 1-strike count to Ebel. Not going this time, and the pitch misses low. A ball and a strike. 2 away, 1 on, no score here in the bottom of the third.
Garrick Ebel, one of the multitude of Hokies on this team. It's a very Virginia Tech heavy team, even though I probably shouldn't say that as I'm just a couple minutes from UVA on UVA night.
Pretty much. 1-1 pitch, runner going. Pitch is way outside, almost like a pitch out. The throw down there, and the throw is a good one. And the runner is out. So it worked like a pitch out. I don't think it was intended to be one, but it perfectly was put there on the way outside, and the catcher, McNeely, nails the runner. So 2 runners thrown out at second base in the inning for the Tom Sox. They have a hit, nobody left. We are through 3 innings, and there is no score here in Charlottesville. Well, it's UVA night here at Crutchfield Park in Charlottesville. So between innings, the interns led the crowd in the singing of the good old song, one that I'm sure you know by heart, Eric.
Oh, yeah. As a Penn Stater, I was very familiar with every single word. But honestly, a little confused if it was a fight song or if it was a national anthem or what it was. But
it's just called the good old song.
Definitely a lot of spirit there.
I don't know what you call it. We just call it the good old song. And they're still doing this.
Yeah, we just call it the alma mater, and it sounds kind of dumb similar and boring. But, yeah, a lot more spirit there from UVA than it would be from a Penn State perspective.
Yeah, there is an alma mater song for UVA, but it's not nearly as fun, and it's hardly ever sung. So.
Oh, I'll tell you what. Listening to the good old song, it was fun. It was a heck of a lot better than anything Penn State could put out from a song perspective.
Well, it's really fun at a football game because it's only sung after scores. So we definitely like to hear that song.
Well, then it is a good old song.
Yes, for sure. So we are going to the top of the 4th. I believe Restuccio is still in there for the Tom Sox. Nothing stirring yet in their bullpen, although that should probably happen pretty soon as they do like pitching by committee, but he's done pretty well. We got a substitute?
I believe that's number 3 on the mound.
Oh.
It is a little cloudy and a little
hard to see.
I can't quite tell though.
Number 3 is still Steven Restuccio. So
it just looks. He doesn't look the same. I don't know if it's just.
It's too cloudy.
If it's a little cloudy, I don't know what. He just looks different.
First pitch to Safferwich is inside for the Turks. Safferwich grounded to third back in the 2nd inning. He is 0 for 1. Here's a fastball at the knees for a strike right down the middle of the plate.
Guess it's just one of those residual effects of the rain.
And the humidity.
Yes, very, very humid here at Crutchfield Park.
That pitch was way inside, and the hitter Safferwich didn't make a huge effort to get out of the way of it, but just enough. And it's 2 balls and a strike. So Restuccio has struck out 4 and given up 2 base hits so far. He's walked a couple and hit a man, and this one is inside. He's hit 2 men. That one right off the shoulder, and Restuccio is not happy with himself on that pitch. It just got away from him right off the get-go.
I'll be honest with you. The pitch before that, I said I have no idea how that didn't hit him, and then I saw that pitch, and I said that. I knew the second it left his hand it was going to hit him. That was pretty obvious to tell that it was going to be an HBP.
So leadoff hit batsman, almost as bad as a leadoff walk, and that'll bring up Frederick Walter here, who walked his first time up. Went down to second on a wild pitch, but did not advance any further. So no official at bats yet. So he bats here with a runner at first and nobody out in a no-score game, and he's going to square to bunt, lays it down the first base side. That's a beautiful bunt. Grounded by the first baseman, Cesari, who will underhand it to Safford covering. Perfect sacrifice gets Safrowitz down to second with one away.
Interesting. John Maley came out early in the first inning, and even though Restuccio has been kind of up and down, hasn't come out yet. So kind of surprised to see Maley not at least talk to the pitcher here.
That'll bring up the 8-hole hitter, Jordan Sweeney. Right-hand hitting first baseman, batting with a runner in scoring position and one out for the Turks. Restuccio will work from the set. Here's the pitch. Fastball hit on the ground toward the shortstop. Guidry checks the runner who's going to third, but he will throw to first. Didn't think he had a close enough play on a ball that wasn't sharply hit. So he'll take the easy play and get the out at first. The runner moves over to third with 2 outs now, and that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Carlos Marte.
Relatively quick half inning so far. Might be under like 6 or 7 pitches, I believe.
Well, he hasn't gotten into the 3-ball counts.
That's been something we've seen very, very early on as he's high, either 3-0 or 3-2s.
Breaking ball missed inside, a little high to Marte. 1-0. Marte grounded to third his first time up, so he is 0 for 1. Bats here with the first runner of the night for either team at third base, but he's there with 2 away. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball catches the knees on the outside corner and evens things up. A ball and a strike.
As a native of PA and somebody who's spent all their life in PA, it's good to see a guy from Hamilton, New Jersey, a little bit closer to home than a lot of these Virginia cities that I'm kind of unfamiliar with.
1-1 pitch is inside. 2 balls and a strike. But you're more familiar with having made the Valley League road trip, apparently.
Yes, I went around and I went to every single stadium on my one day off, and I'll tell you what, racked up a lot of miles in my car, burned a lot of gas, but it was pretty cool to see all the stadiums.
2-1 pitch, and he swung, missed, and the bat went flying.
Yeah, the bat flew right out of his hands, almost hit the guy on deck, Clay Lockett. Lockett dances out of the way and jumps over the bat.
So the count is 2-2. That was a pretty exciting swing because the bat went straight back to the screen. A couple of weeks ago, we saw a bat on the same kind of thing, and it went all the way out of the ballpark into a light pole over on the behind the visitor dugout. It was quite exciting.
I think the purpose of the on-deck circle is to get warmed up and get ready, and Clay Lockett's definitely got to be heart racing, ready to go now.
2-2 pitch with 2 outs, and there's a ball outside, and that takes the count full now with the runner at third. And the leadoff hitter, Clay Lockett, on deck should Marte keep this going here and break this scoreless tie, perhaps. Here's the payoff pitch. Breaking ball is hit softly up the middle, but that's going to drop for a base hit, and that will bring in the first run of the ball game. A 2-out RBI single for Carlos Marte was not hit sharply, but just where it needed to be. Soft enough that the center fielder, Candelario, had no chance on it, so it dropped in for an RBI single, and the Turks lead at 1-0 here in the top of the 4th.
Again, hitting right back at Restuccio, this time over his head, drops right in there. Candelario couldn't do anything about it. Runner comes in from third, and now Restuccio is facing a 1-0 scoring deficit with a guy on first and 2 outs.
Leadoff hitter going up at the plate, and the runner going. Here's the throw down to second. That one bounces and kicks away from the second baseman, Safford. So in with a stolen base is Marte. So now the Turks get a man in scoring position with 2 outs, and they are working on manufacturing runs here in the 4th inning. The leadoff hitter in the inning was hit by a pitch, went to second on a sacrifice, moved to third on a ground ball, and scored on a soft single. And now that 2-out base runner is in the scoring position with a stolen base, and a 1-strike pitch misses outside. 1-1.
Yeah, and if you're Restuccio here, you have to have a short memory. I mean, you give up a run the first run of the game, you got to be able to go back and fire against the next batter. You got to make sure that your mistakes don't cascade. I think that's what happened when he was against Waynesboro last time out. Give up 8 runs, 6 of them earned. Things just kind of piled up, and he wasn't able to shake that mentally.
1-1 pitch is swung on and fouled out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Lockett. He is 1 for 2 tonight. Singled back in the first inning to start this ball game, and then grounded out in the third. Turks with 3 hits and now 1 run.
Good opportunity here for Restuccio if he can get a 3rd strike here.
1-2 pitch is bounced on the outside, and that will even things up. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs.
He's thrown a lot of pitches that have bounced either right at home plate or just before home plate. I think he's missing short.
Looking in at Ebel for the sign. He has it. Checks back toward Marte at second. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on. Hit on the ground toward the shortstop. Guidry backhands it. He makes the long throw and got him just in time by a step. Nicely played by Cam Guidry at short to retire the side and end the threat. The Turks do push across the first run of the ball game. There was a single in the inning, a hit batsman, 1 man left. We are through 3.5. Harrisonburg 1, Charlottesville nothing. We head to the bottom of the 4th, and finally the scoreless tie has been broken by the Turks, who lead at 1-0. Riggleman is still in the game for the Turks. The starter for that team has pitched pretty well. He is heading into his 4th inning of work, and he will have the heart of the Tom Sox lineup. 3, 4, and 5. Ebel, Spikes, and Cesare here in the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, Garrett Ebel came up last half inning and, had to go back after the caught steal. So.
Yep. He was at the plate when Pierce Bennett was cut down on a stealing attempt for the 3rd out of the inning. 2 Tom Sox runners were thrown out at second in that inning. One after a single trying to stretch into a double, then the caught stealing. There's a called strike on the inside corner to Ebel. Ebel walked his first time back in the 1st inning.
Garrett Ebel, a guy that's seen a lot of action at a lot of different positions. He's been the outfield, he's been third base, he's been catcher. A lot of different opportunities for Ebel in this season. But he is a Yankees fan, so I do have to knock him.
Well, you can't hold that against him.
Yeah, I feel like with the name of Gehrig, you're destined for baseball and a love of the pinstripes up there in New York.
Gotta wonder if he was named after him. 1 ball to 1 strike. I've never heard Gehrig as a first name, so.
I would have to imagine so.
Makes me wonder. He's got some parents who are big Lou Gehrig fans. Here's a pitch on the inside corner, a ball and 2 strikes.
His career goal after baseball is to play in the PGA Tour. So a guy who's got aspirations for 2 different sports here.
1-2 pitch is a called strike on the outside corner. A beauty. Got him looking for the 1st out of the inning. And that'll be the 3rd strikeout of the night for Adam Riggleman and bring up Garrett Spikes, the number 4 hitter, the cleanup hitter, who grounded out unassisted to the first baseman his first time up to end the 1st inning. He is 0 for 1. Big left-hand hitter. Garrett Spikes, 3 homers on the year. Takes the first pitch outside for a ball.
3 homers might not sound like a lot, but when you consider the team only has 12,
yeah,
and you have 25% of your team's home runs.
Ball 2, the pitch missing outside once again. So Spikes is up in the count now, 2-0. Here comes the pitch from Riggleman. There's a fastball catching the inside corner. 2-1. Spikes with the 3 homers and also a team-leading 15 runs batted in.
He was the hitter of the day on July 3rd. We went 3 for 5 with 2 runs, 3 RBIs, and 1 of those home runs.
Pitches a called strike at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Spikes with Adam Cesare on deck for the Tom Sox. Trailing at 1-0 here in the bottom of the 4th. Swung on and hit foul down the left field line. Bouncing on the roadway, and one kid overran it.
It's like a track meet.
It is. There's a lot of bargaining going on, too, with the kids that don't get the ball trying to bargain to get the ball.
Oh, you have 2, I have nothing. Yep, it's like a whole system out there.
2-2 pitch misses outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Spikes in a full count now.
He was up 2-0. Then it was 2-2. Now it's 3-2. So
here it comes. Swung on, hit in the air toward left field. The left fielder's got a long way to go. That might fall in between them, and indeed it does. On his way to second is Spikes, and he's going to round second as the fielder has some trouble with it. He is heading to third, slides in. The ball gets away and is out of play. He will come home with a triple and an error to score, and the Tom Sox have tied this up with a Garrett Spikes bat.
if you would have given me 500 guesses of what would have happened at that at-bat, I never would have guessed that. An absolute deep bomb that I believe touched off the fence just after it bounced, and then Garrett Spikes puts on his, fast running shoes, gets to third base, and that throw was wild. It actually went right over the dugout, right into the crowd, had no chance of hitting a third baseman there, and just with that one at-bat, Garrett Spikes is now tied up this game at 1.
I believe it was the shortstop Safrowicz who made the throw that sailed errantly and allowed the run to score, and that will bring up Adam Cesare, and he swings and fouls it out of play. Strike one. Cesare fly to right to start the second inning, so he is 0 for 1. 1-1 ball game now suddenly here in the bottom of the fourth. A well-struck ball by Spikes. That can't be understated. Went all the way to the wall and left center. And then the relay throw from the shortstop sailed completely out of the ballpark, and he was trying to stretch a double into a triple, which I believe he would have easily done, and then was able to score on the errant throw.
Yeah, even if the throw was on the money, I don't think it would have gotten Spikes out there.
1-1 pitch is low and inside, kicks away from the catcher, back to the screen. 2-1 now to Cesare with Wyatt Langford on deck.
I thought for sure Spikes was going to hold up at second, and then he just had those super long strides and just booked it right to third base and really forced that error and brought in a run.
He really didn't hesitate. I think he saw the fielders not having playing it cleanly. Here's a sharply hit ball to right field. That's going to drop for a base hit right over the head of the second baseman. So back-to-back hits for the Tom Sox here. And now a one-out single with Wyatt Langford coming up.
Adam Cesare, since he's come to this team, he's been absolutely incredible. He has three RBI games, and he's only done that in just 8 appearances. So Cesare, one of the hottest bats for the Tom Sox. Spikes one of them as well. And now you have Wyatt Langford. Just a grueling stretch here for the pitcher Riggleton to have to face.
So Wyatt Langford struck out his first time, but he comes in with having a pretty hot week, hitting at 346 over the last week or so. 9 base hits in the last 8 games for Langford. And he bats here with a runner at first, 1 out, 1 run in. 1-1 ball game, bottom of the fourth.
I believe Bob Weiss, the head coach of the Harrisonburg, I believe he just took the pitcher's sunglasses or some kind of object from him. Probably didn't want to have him on the mound anymore.
Not really needing him now. The lights are on here at Crutchfield Park. Working from the set now is Riggleman. Here's the pitch, breaking ball, a soft looper out to right field, and that's going to drop for a base hit. So back-to-back base hits just over the second baseman's reach out into right field. Runners at first and second now, and the Tom Sox have a triple and 2 singles to get this fourth inning going after a strikeout started it. 1 run already in, runners at first and second, only 1 out, and Trevor Candelaria will be the hitter, and he singled his first time, and now it looks like Weiss is going to come out and have a chat, and he may have made a signal to indicate a reliever coming in. Things kind of became unraveled for Riggleman here in the fourth inning after he was sailing through the first 3.
Yeah, he was doing a pretty good job of keeping the Tom Sox in check, and then we saw Garrett Spikes stretch what he did, and back-to-back hits, 2 very different hits, but basically the same spot in the field, so just making sure that things are all right, making sure you can go the distance.
So it didn't make the change after all. I'm guessing when he got his sunglasses, that didn't count as a mound visit. So Riggleman will remain in the game to face Candelaria, who is 1 for 1. Runners at first and second, 1 out.
Turks do have some action in, I guess, what you could call the bullpen here at the Tom Sox Stadium.
Kind of the bull area.
Yeah. We have seen a couple of pitchers warm up, and actually the catchers missed the ball, and it's actually rolled all the way to home plate.
First pitch is swung on and fouled right back off the screen in front of us for strike 1 to Candelaria. Over the last week, he's been hitting pretty well. 6 base hits and 21 trips, a couple of them doubles, a home run, 3 runs batted in. Bats here with runners at first and second, only one out. One run across. It's a 1-1 game here in the fourth. Breaking ball, swing and a miss, and the ball kicked away from the catcher. I believe he got a piece of it, so the runners cannot advance.
It looked like it actually got McNeely after it tipped off Candelaria's bat in the face. He fell back a little bit. The umpire caught him, and he's taking a second to catch himself.
So 0-2 to Candelaria, and they take their time, as Eric mentioned, to let the catcher kind of catch his breath. With runners at first and second, McNeely looks like he's ready now, and he is back down into his crouch to give the signs to Riggleman, the right-hander facing the tall righty Trevor Candelaria. From the stretch, 2-strike pitch, breaking ball misses outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes with Cam Guidry on deck. Guidry playing shortstop tonight, giving Cole Foster the night off.
And well deserved. Foster's been one of the most consistent longevity guys for this Tom Sox roster.
Pitch is fouled back over our heads into the woods where the Dolphins lay. 1 ball and 2 strikes now.
Yeah, that is the one area that the kids will not go chasing and down. I've been back there a little bit.
It's kind of a bad area.
Very, very overgrown.
Yes.
If you're going searching for a ball, you're more likely to find poison ivy or some kind of animal than you will be for a foul ball.
1-2 pitch, a breaking ball that just broke a little too much and missed the outside part of the plate, so the count evens up 2-2 to Candelaria.
David Argo, our stats guy, was nice enough to forward along Harrisonburg's game notes. I can tell you that all time they're 490 and 317. Which is a winning percentage of 607.
Been around a long time. Here's a pitch inside, 3-2. Bobby Weiss has been around a long time, almost 20 years as the coach for the Harrisonburg Turks.
There's a nice little paragraph here on Bob Weiss and has a lot of information about him. He's owned his Weiss Auto Exchange for 44 years.
Yep, I grew up in the Harrisonburg area, and I am all too familiar with it. Here's a payoff pitch coming from Adam Riggleman. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball. Candelaria badly fooled on it. He goes down swinging for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Cam Guidry, batting now with 2 outs. Runner still at first and second for the Tom Sox. Guidry is 0 for 1. I used to go to Harrisonburg Turks games as a kid, way back in the 70s. It's a little bit before your time, Eric.
I will say that going to Harrisonburg for the games, it is a neat little town. It's right next to the university, and it's kind of cool to see all the small ballparks. And then here's James Madison University, which is a college turf stadium. I've never seen a turf baseball field before.
Well, in those days, they didn't play at JMU. They played at a thing called Memorial Stadium, which was an old rickety ballpark. Here's a swing and a miss and fouled back off the screen.
I like the turf fields. I'm not going to lie to you, but to me, you have to see the dirt. You have to see the grass. It just doesn't do the same kind of effect for me.
So 1 strike, the count to Cam Guidry. There's a little conversation on the mound between the catcher and the pitcher between those pitches, and now the home plate umpire will do a little dusting off the plate. First and second are the Tom Sox. Cesare at second, Langford at first. 2 away, 1 run in. It's a 1-1 game. Guidry trying to deliver a 2-out base hit here. Riggleman has the sign and checks back toward the runner at second. And now the pitch, breaking ball. It's a called strike at the knees. That was a pretty pitch, and it's 0-2.
And we did mention it as UVA night with the promotion, but a lot of fans have come out, luckily, and been in attendance at Crutchfield Park here all season. Thanks to Carter Bank and Trust, free parking and free admission all season long. They've been a big reason why the Tom Sox have had such a packed crowd every night.
2-strike pitch, swing and a miss, and he got him. So 3 strikeouts in the inning, around a run off of a triple and an errant throw. 2 other singles, but those 2 men were left on base. 1 run across, evens things up. We're through 4. It's Harrisonburg 1 and the Tom Sox 1 here in Charlottesville. New pitcher on as expected for the Tom Sox here in the top half of the fifth. Dylan Yannock will take the hill. On the year, he has worked to a 3.60 ERA with a record of 2-1. He has appeared in 7 games for them as a starter. So this is his 8th appearance with 20 innings pitched so far and given up only 10 base hits and only 8 earned runs. He has struck out 26 while walking 16. So Dylan Yannock is into the ballgame in place of Stephen Restuccio.
Yes. And Dylan Yannock's one of the All-Stars we mentioned before. Didn't know that I'd be seeing him in appearance, but good to see Yannock out here. He's one of the most talented strikeout kings for this Tom Sox bullpen.
He is another right-hander, and he will face 2, 3, and 4 here for the Turks in this 1-1 game here in the top of the 5th. Peyton Crispin to lead things off, who was hitless tonight in 2 trips. A ground ball to second and a strikeout. So Yannock with the big, tall, full right wind up, hits the outside corner with the first pitch for a strike.
Yannock is 6'5", and as somebody else who's 6'5", it's good to see somebody who meets you at eye level. Not many people that match my height, so it's good to see somebody else that tall.
Swing and a miss at a great fastball on the inside corner, and he's quickly ahead in the count 0-2. It's a big advantage, certainly coming off the hill at 6'5".
I believe it's the Stanton Braves, a pitcher named Braden Syron. I believe he's 6'11", if I remember correctly.
Wow.
So every pitch he throws is just immediately downhill.
2-strike pitch coming way inside and ducking out of the way, but not quite enough as the hitter Crispin, and it nicked him on the leg. And that's the 3rd Turk who's been hit by a pitch tonight. One of those came around to score their only run, and it's the 2nd straight inning that the leadoff hitter was hit by a pitch.
Final line for Restuccio here. 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run. That run was earned. 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. He faced 19 batters.
Had a pretty good night. Had a pretty good outing, did Restuccio. So Michael Rosario will be the hitter now with a runner at first and nobody out. Here comes the pitch, and that one is backhanded. And did that hit him too? I believe it did. Another pitch hitting the leg or the foot of the hitter. 4th hit batsman, 2nd in a row. Runners at first and second here to start the 5th inning.
2 pitches, 2 hit batman.
Kind of an odd way to start the inning, and that'll bring up Logan McNeely.
Yeah, and it's just not characteristic of Yannock. I mean, he's a guy who registers a lot of strikeouts and usually has a lot of control. He and Brady Kirtner are 2 of the 3 all-star pitchers for this team with Christian Worley, so kind of odd to see Yannock have not only 2 hit batsmen, but the first 2 guys be hit.
Though this is the cleanup hitter, the Turks infielders are playing this one tight as if he might lay it down. They're both in at the corners, 1st and 3rd. And he is squaring to bunt and takes a pitch for a strike. So Logan McNeely is 0 for 1 officially with a walk. He popped to first in the 1st inning and then walked in the 3rd, and he did show bunt there with runners at 1st and 2nd. Certainly a bunting situation in this tight 1-1 game. It's just a little surprising to see a cleanup hitter doing that. From the set, Yannock checks back towards second. Showing bunt again and pulls it back on an inside pitch and takes it inside for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike to McNeely.
All-star on all-star matchup here with McNeely from the Turks and Yannock from the Tom Sox.
McNeely came into the ballgame as their 2nd leading hitter on the year. First baseman creeping way in, and here's the bunt being shown, and he pops it foul back off the screen, and that's going to take the count to a ball and 2 strikes, which is, in effect, probably going to remove the bunt.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity here for Yannock. If he can register at least a swinging strikeout or a called strike to kind of settle in a little bit, calm those nerves, especially at the 2 hit batsmen, I think it's a lot of a mental game for a pitcher.
1 ball and 2 strikes to the cleanup hitter McNeely with Derek Crum on deck. 1-1 game. The Turks getting the first 2 hitters aboard here in the 5th with hit by pitches. So the new pitcher Yannock in a bit of a jam here, trying to work his way out of it. 1 ball and 2 strikes to McNeely, who will now surely be swinging away. Infield playing halfway for the double play. Swings and hits a chopper toward the first baseman. He's going to whirl and throw to second. Gid recovering, and he can't make the throw back to first. A hard slide into second. Well played by the base runner. So 1 out on the play. That one goes 3-6. And the fielder's choice. And the other runner at second goes down to third. So now the Turks have runners at the corners with only one out, and that'll bring up Derek Crum. And Crum is victim of the strikeout twice tonight. It sounds like we got a pinch hitter.
Yes. It's going to be number 6 for Harrisonburg.
Travis Reifschneider, who is going to come in. He is, speaking of JMU, plays his ball at JMU out of Richmond. So Travis Reifschneider will pinch hit here for Derek Crum with runners at the corners and one out. He's a left-hand hitter, very tall. Against the tall pitcher, swing and a miss. Off-speed pitch for strike one. It's a 6'4" junior. So you got a 6'4" hitter against a 6'5" pitcher. From the set, taking his time is Yana. Check swing on a pitch inside that just missed, and that evens things up at a ball and a strike. One out, runners at the corners. A 1-1 game. Travis Reifschneider.
They didn't give you the easiest last names to pronounce tonight, did they?
No, they didn't. Here's the 1-1 pitch, swings, and he chops it foul back toward the Tom Sox on-deck circle. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Big hitter here for Yanok to try to get out without advancing any base runners.
Yeah, I interviewed Dylan, and I pronounced his name Janik because that's what it looks like. And I talked with Coach Kohler on the one podcast, and he said, Yanok. And who are you talking about? Oh, Dylan. I've been pronouncing his last name wrong the whole time, so you talk about weird pronunciations.
1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. He got him. That's a huge strikeout for Yanok. Second out of the inning now, and that will bring up Bryce Safarwich. And he hits here with runners at the corners now and 2 outs. Safarwich was hit by a pitch to lead off the 4th inning, and that ended up resulting in a run. He went to second on a sacrifice, went to third on a fielder's choice, and scored on a soft single. Truly a manufactured run. Runner going from first. They'll throw down. The runner coming from third to home. Here's the throw back, and he will score. Well-executed double steal. Cam Guidry cut the throw off in front of second, but the throw back to the plate bounced in front of the catcher, Ebel, and so the runner scored from third on the double steal.
That's actually a trick we've seen the Tom Sox do a couple of times this season, so it's a little surprising that they kind of fell for it themselves, but in that case, you got to do what you got to do.
So for the second time in the game, a hit batsman to lead off the inning has resulted in a run. You always hear about the old adage, never walk the leadoff hitter. Well, it's the same thing to hit the leadoff hitter. And there it has come back to bite the Tom Sox pitching staff. Now 2-1. Harrisonburg leads it. The hitter Safarwich takes a pitch at the knees, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Again, you got to have that short memory, be able to go back and attack this batter here. Don't worry about the guy on second. Don't worry about the guy who just crossed the plate. Worry about the batter who's in the box because that's what you can control.
2 outs, runner in scoring position. Working from the set is Yanok. Slider went outside, and the count goes 2 balls and a strike to Safarwich with Frederick Walter, the third baseman, on deck for the Turks should the inning continue.
Spent a lot of time watching Yanok with the analytics crew and looking at some of his stats. Man, does he throw the ball incredibly hard.
It's one of the things we miss here is a scoreboard with the MPHs showing on it. 2-1 offering is inside and low, 3 balls and a strike.
First saw him pitch in Harrisonburg in a couple outings ago, one of the first matchups between these two teams, and he was consistently hitting, just above 90 every single time, pretty much accurately, so he definitely has the control when it comes to speed.
3-1 pitch, misses low, and they puts him aboard with a 2-out walk. And that will bring up Frederick Walter, who has walked and hit a beautiful sacrifice bunt back in the 4th inning, so he's had no official at-bats tonight. But his bunt was perfectly executed to get Safarwich down to second who ended up coming around to score back in the 4th inning. And he bats here, does Walter, with 2 away and runners at first and second for the Turks. 1 run in. They've got 2 runners on. They've scored a run, and they've done this without the benefit of a base hit. 2 hit batsmen and a walk. First pitch is outside, a fastball missing away, 1-0 to Walter.
Yeah, the Turks don't hit the ball incredibly well this season, so it looks like it's the Tom Sox kind of being their own worst enemy tonight.
Yannick has the sign, goes to the belt, checks back toward the runner, kicks and deals fastball, swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Hopefully Dylan can settle in here and really find his stride. Like I mentioned, he's been one of the best pitchers for the Tom Sox all season, so although he's off to a bit of a slower start, he should be able to adjust and become a catalyst for this bullpen.
Swing and a miss, and now he's ahead in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Walter. Big hitter here, try to escape with only 1 run. That would be big for Yannick. He's thrown 20 pitches in the inning, and 11 of them gone for balls. 1-2 offering, and that one kicks off the heel of the bat for a foul ball on an excuse me swing. Count holds, a ball and 2 strikes.
I was nervous there for a second. I thought it nicked off his hand or some kind of body part, and that'd be another hit by pitch.
That would not be good. Have to start checking the record books if that would have happened.
Exactly.
There is some more stirring in the Tom Sox bullpen. Nobody throwing in the Turks bullpen at the moment, although there was somebody throwing down there in the last inning.
I don't think I've ever seen 2 hit by pitches to lead off an inning.
1-2 pitch is fouled out of play. The runner from second was breaking on the pitch, but he'll have to retreat back. The count holds, a ball and 2 strikes. Well, it's not something you want to see if you're the team in the field, that's for sure. 1-2 count, runners at first and second, 2 away. Run across. Big pitch here for Dylan Yannick. From the set, fans get going. Here's the pitch, fastball, no, it got him. Slow call by the home plate umpire, but he rings him up for a critical strike 3, 3rd out. A strand 2, a run across, no hits in the inning. 2 left on. We're through halfway, and it's Harrisonburg 2, Charlottesville 1. Tom Sox have out-hit the Turks so far through this game, 5-3, but they trail it 2-1 because, as Eric mentioned, the Tom Sox pitching staff has been their own worst enemy tonight with walks and hit batsmen.
Yeah, Travis Reiser now taking over in right field for the Turks, the substitution. But jumping back to the Tom Sox, it's been their own kryptonite, has been themselves. The hit by pitches, the walks, they've really kind of shot themselves in the foot. And Harrisonburg did not hit the ball well, but, I mean, if the Tom Sox were given basemen, then I guess you don't have to hit the ball too well then.
Yeah, 2 hit batsmen that led off consecutive innings. Both came around eventually to score. One with the benefit of 1 base hit, the other with the benefit of no base hits. So that's where we stand, 2-1, as the Tom Sox send up 9, 1, and 2 here in the bottom half of the 5th. Will Safford will lead it off. He singled a sharply hit ball down the right field line that might have gotten to the wall. Maybe he was thinking it was going to the wall. Right fielder cut it off. He hesitated ever so briefly coming around first, then went for second and was thrown out on a beautiful throw from right field. So he is 1 for 1, but he was cut down trying to stretch it into a double. Takes the first pitch inside and low. 1-0 pitch swung on and chopped right at the Tom Sox dugout.
Now, first thing you might notice here with Will Safford is, yeah, he's one of the smallest players on the team, but I'll tell you what, watching him play all season long, he plays with a lot of heart. He really hustles, really plays hard. I think he's one of the most determined players on this roster, and he saw when he hit the ball, he was ready to go for 2. Nobody's telling him otherwise.
Pitch misses high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. That was only his second hit on the year, and he was trying to make something happen.
Sometimes too much confidence can be a negative thing.
He did hit the ball really sharply, though. It was well struck for sure. That pitch misses inside. 3-1 now. So Safford way ahead in the count with the leadoff hitter Pierce Bennett waiting on deck. Left-hand hitter Safford facing the righty Riggleman, and he takes a pitch inside and low, and he will be aboard with a leadoff walk. So after the Tom Sox put consecutive leadoff hitters on in the 4th and 5th with hit batsmen, now they get the gift of themselves with a walk, the leadoff walk.
Yeah, nice of the Turks to kind of repay the favor there and say, you're giving us a couple, we'll give you 1 right back.
We're all about fair play.
Yeah, the VBL is a very giving league. You give us a couple of walks and hit batsmen, we'll give you a couple back.
I'm guessing Safford might possess some speed. He's got a good lead down there at first base with Pierce Bennett at the plate. Working from the stretch is Riggleman. Beauty pitch on the outside corner for a called strike. Bennett struck out looking in the first and walked and was caught stealing back in the 3rd.
Yeah, Safford looks hungry down there at first.
He's really getting out to a big lead, digging himself into the dirt. Breaking ball is hit, soft liner toward the shortstop. He is on his knees with the catch and makes it. Safferwich comes up with it, and back to first is Safford. A soft line drive goes for the out. First out of the inning, and that'll bring up Logan Amos.
Yeah, nice play there by Safferwich, because if that gets in there, you're going to have 2 guys on with no outs. Really good opportunity here for Logan Amos, a guy who's been swinging the bat pretty hard. Now instead you got 1 out, and you keep Safford at first. Really good play there.
Amos has hit a couple of balls to right field, a soft liner to medium right, and then a pretty deep fly ball to right, but he's 0 for 2 for his efforts. Bats here with Safford at first and 1 away. He is a left-hand hitter against Riggleman, who's a righty thrower. And this has been hot over the last week or so. Throw over to first, and diving back safely is Safford. First baseman had to come off the bag to get the throw. Wasn't a particularly good throw from Riggleman.
Amos out of VCU in Powhatan, Virginia.
And now the pitcher steps off the rubber, looks the runner back. Runner going, swing, and a high fly ball into left center. The center fielder is going over, but he can't find it. Looks like it's completely lost, and that's going to drop in. Center fielder and left fielder both lost it, and rounding third and on his way to home is Safford. He will score. He was down at second watching the play, and then the hitter, a miss, goes into second with a base hit. Ball completely lost in the lights, and that's not something that is a surprise here. Sometimes it's a little hard to catch a high fly ball here. They can disappear in this dusky part of the evening. So a double and an RBI for Logan Amos, and that ties things up. It's 2 apiece.
And I mean, we talked about that speed from Safford. We saw when he was at second, he was going to third, and he knew he was coming home. He knew the second he touched second base and that ball landed, he knew he was going to come home. And he did not stop running pretty much until he was in the dugout there to put the second run on the board for the Sox.
Played it very smartly, went around second base by about a step, and then carefully watched Clay Lockett out in center field. And when he realized he had no idea where the ball was, then he took off and, as Eric said, came around to score. Here's a ground ball sharply hit through the hole on the left side. Being held at third is the runner Amiss, and over at first with a single is Garrick Ebel. So now runners at the corners as the Sox for the second straight inning get back-to-back hits, a double and a single here. And that'll bring up Garrett Spikes, the dangerous Garrett Spikes, with only 1 out.
Exactly, and one of the things the Tom Sox do is they score runs in bunches, so it's not surprising that when they get hot, the Sox are hot. So look for them to kind of keep this going as we see Bob Weiss saying, nope, we're going to try to cool down your momentum a little bit here as he visits the mound.
He has made the customary signal toward the bullpen, calling for a new pitcher who will be coming into this ball game, and so Adam Riggleman will complete his work He leaves with 2 runners on, 1 away. He'll be responsible for runners at first and third, and he leaves with a 2-2 ball game. And so the Harrisonburg Turks will bring in a new pitcher here. We'll have to do the song and dance where we try to figure out the number.
We peer through the window and try to get through the smog and the fencing here to try to figure out what number that. I believe it's
14.
14, yes.
So that's going to be, well, no, that's Carlos Marte. He's already in the game. I picked the wrong guy. It's my fault.
If the pitcher would be kind enough to turn around so we could see his number and announce his name, that would be swell. They don't care about us up here in the booth. They want to get into the game and they want to get their arm going. They don't need to hear their number.
Number 8, maybe?
Number 8, number 9? Well, they're both pitchers, so that's not too much help.
He's doing a lot of, it looks like number 9.
I believe it would be number 9.
Logan McClure. So it is number 9 we're having verified here in the press boxes. I was telling Eric before the game, I've been doing Valley League baseball since back in the 90s, and back in those days, sometimes we would have to run down to the dugout to find out who the player was. So it's not always as bad as you think it is.
You know, on a night like tonight, the fact that I don't have to run in this humidity, I will take that.
So Logan McClure is the new pitcher. This will be his 6th appearance on the year. He has worked 16 1/3 innings, given up 11 base hits, and 6 earned runs, so that's a 3.3 ERA. In his 16 innings, he has struck out 16, so a pretty good strikeout pitcher, and only walked 6. He is 1-0 on the year. This is his 6th appearance. He has started 3 times, so 3 relief appearances, and McClure comes on here in relief of Adam Riggleman, who had a pretty decent night.
Yeah, Adam Riggleman, 4.1 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, 3 walks and 5 strikeouts. He faced 21 batters, so he'll throw things over to McClure here. Not a bad outing, really did keep the Tom Sox bats in check. However, now there's a guy there on third with just 1 out. Any kind of hit's going to propel him home. Even a sac fly could do the job.
And Logan McClure plays at one of those small colleges we were talking about earlier. He's at West Virginia Tech. Not Virginia Tech.
Not West Virginia, not Virginia Tech,
Yeah,
West Virginia Tech.
And he's from a town in West Virginia called Hurricane, which is an interesting town because I doubt a hurricane has ever been through West Virginia.
I agree, and there's also, if I believe correctly, a tropical storm coming up the coast right now.
There is. But it's probably not heading to West Virginia.
No, probably not.
So Garrett Spikes is the hitter for the Tom Sox. He's a dangerous hitter in this spot. Comes up with runners at the corners and 1 out, 1 run in. Looks like the third baseman for the Turks, Walter, is going to be in right at the edge of the grass. First baseman is holding the runner, so he's in, but the middle infielders are playing it back halfway. They would concede a run in hopes of getting a double play.
Garrett Spikes, one of the taller players on this roster. When he puts his bat on the ball, it's usually deep in the outfield. So
Runner going from first, swing, and a foul back off the screen. So hit and run employed there. Ebel will have to retreat back.
Garrett Spikes, definitely one of the bigger personalities on this team. A guy that players are always kind of looking for just fun and conversation. It's kind of cool to see the team gel, and he's definitely been one of the guys who's really helped bring people together.
0-1 is the count to Spikes, who has 1 for 2 tonight. He tripled, had a big triple back in the 4th, and scored on an errant throw on the play. So he scored the first Tom Sox run. He is 1 for 2 after grounding out in the first inning.
Yeah, Spikes has been pretty hot recently.
From the set, the pitch misses outside. Nope, caught the outside corner. Check that. 0-2 to Spikes. This time, runner not going.
So our stats guy, David Argo, has all the tips and tricks about the players. Apparently, Garrett Spikes is really good at Rubik's Cubes and math.
Pitch misses outside, 1-2. Well, that's certainly an interesting thing. A great way to pass the time on the road, I guess.
As somebody that has taken a lot of time and effort into learning a Rubik's Cube, it is not very easy. So you definitely have to have the concentration and the patience to be able to sit down and do it.
1-2 pitch, swing, and a high pop foul. That's going to drift out of play back beyond the metal bleachers to our left, breaking some sort of sound effects glass.
I will say that when I'm usually behind home plate with the radar gun, you do sit and listen because you're saying that's
Predicting,
concrete,
right.
that's the parking lot, that's a roof, that's somebody's car, and every once in a while you're sitting there praying, where did I park? How far back did that go? 1-2
pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out with an off-speed pitch. That was a beauty. Spikes was fooled on on the pitch.
Garrett Spikes incredibly frustrated. Actually hits himself in the helmet with his bat. Definitely kind of knew what opportunity he had there. Wasn't able to capitalize on it. Just frustrated with himself there.
So Logan McClure comes in a key spot, the reliever, and gets the strikeout of the dangerous Garrett Spikes. So now there's 2 away, and that'll bring up Adam Cesare. But things don't get any easier. Cesare's been certainly hot of late. He had 2 home runs last night over the last week. He's had 10 base hits, 5 of them for extra bases, 12 runs batted in, and he bats here with runners at the corners and 2 outs. First pitch is taken for a ball down low and away. Cesare hit a fly ball to right in the 2nd inning and then singled back in the 4th.
Yeah, he's out of Wake Forest and actually out of PA, so good to see a PA guy. But, I mean, he's only been with the team for a handful of games now, but ever since he's joined the team, he's made his presence very, very well known. He's currently batting .400 with 12 RBIs and 2 home runs, so he puts his bat on the ball, it's going to go deep.
1-0 pitch, a fastball, misses high and away, 2-0. So Cesare up in the count, which is certainly a nice place for a dangerous and hot hitter to be. Chance to try to break this 2-2 tie with runners at the corners, but there are 2 outs.
Also another player, 6'5", so tall like Spikes and Yannock.
Here's a ball hit well to right center. That's going back. That's going back. They're going back to the wall, and that one is gone. And just as we were talking about his dangerous power, 2 home runs last night, and Adam Cesare has hit number 3 tonight. And he puts the Tom Sox suddenly ahead 5-2.
That's 3 home runs in 2 days if you're keeping track at home, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll tell you what, if you can believe how far that ball went, the other 2 yesterday went even further. So it shows just what kind of pattern Adam Cesare has on his bat.
And also, that was an example of what you were talking about earlier. Sometimes you can hear it coming off the bat, and that was one you could hear coming off the bat. He got the sweet spot. It's so dark out beyond the right field fence, I couldn't exactly see how far beyond the fence it went, but I think it traveled a pretty good distance as he got all of that one. So 5-2 now as the big bat of Adam Cesare breaks this thing a little bit open here in the bottom of the 5th, and that'll bring up Wyatt Langford. Takes the first pitch for a called strike, so the reliever McClure came in, got the strikeout, and then served up the 3-run homer to Cesare. That's 5-2.
Now, I might be biased. I work for the Tom Sox, but having to face Spikes, Cesare, and Langford all at once is just not fair.
Here's another long fly ball to left. That one's going back. The left fielder's at the wall, and that one is gone. Back to back. Wyatt Langford. And he got all of that one. Not quite as deep as the Cesare ball, but certainly not cheated. And so back-to-back home runs for the Tom Sox, and suddenly it is 6-2. For Wyatt Langford, that is his 2nd home run of the year.
So the Tom Sox coming in have the 2nd least home runs, just above Harrisonburg, and they decide, let's pump that number up a little bit more. Now 4 home runs in just 2 days.
So what a big inning and a big turnaround for the Tom Sox here, and that'll bring up the 8th hitter in the inning, Trevor Candelaria, and he hits a ball on the ground toward the shortstop. Safferwich up with it, sidearms it over to first for the out. So 1 pitch completes it, but not before the damage was done. The Tom Sox with a big, huge inning as they push across 5 runs, a couple of home runs. There were 4 hits altogether, nobody left on base, and we are through 5, and suddenly it's the Tom Sox 6 and Harrisonburg 2. So we are back into the top of the 6th, and suddenly things have changed, including lots and lots of Tom Sox players. So we'll try to catch up with that as well. But the Tom Sox take the lead 6-2. Dylan Yannick's first pitch to Jordan Sweeney is inside for a ball, 1-0. Sweeney is 0 for 2 in the night. He struck out and grounded out.
So, ladies and gentlemen, for keeping track at home,
Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Let's keep you up to date here. So Elijah,
Your microphone there, my buddy.
I apologize. My microphone was down by my mouth. So Elijah Nunez will take over in right field. Will Safford will take over in center. Eddie Iser will come in at second, and Cal Stark will come in at first.
If you got that, then you're a better man than me. Okay, that pitch bounces outside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, and the excitement of trying to get all the positions players. I forgot I have to talk into a microphone to be heard.
Yeah.
So
I could hear you, but no one else could. 2-1 pitch, swing and a foul back out of play. 2-2 to Jordan Sweeney. The 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the Turks here in the 6th, who had led 1-0, then it was 1-1, led 2-1, then it was 2-2, and then suddenly 6-2.
yeah, if you ask my dad, not being able to hear me might not be the worst thing if you're coming to the broadcast.
2-2 offering, hit sharply toward left field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Over is the new left fielder to pick it off and throw back to Cam Guidry at short. So a leadoff single for Jordan Sweeney here for the Turks. 3rd straight inning they've had the leadoff man on, but this time by a single, not by a hit batsman.
It's one of those hits where it gets over shortstop, just not far enough for left field. It's kind of that dead man zone, and it's going to be a base hit.
That'll bring up Carlos Marte, who is the second baseman. He is 1 for 2. He drove in the Turks' first run with a single back in the 4th inning. He also grounded out. Takes a pitch high, and the ball kicks out of the glove of Evil, but no damage done. Yannick has the sign, working from the stretch with a runner at first. Here's the 1-0 pitch, missing outside. 2 balls and no strikes.
Lots of substitutions there for the Tom Sox, keeping us off balance. But it's not uncommon for them to make multiple switches. It's usually just later in the game.
2-0 is the count. Here comes the pitch, swung on and fouled straight back into the screen. 2-1. Carlos Marte, the number 9 hitter, followed by the leadoff man Clay Lockett here in the top of the 6th. 6-2 Tom Sox after 2 big home runs, big fly balls back in the bottom of the 5th. Garrett Spikes and Wyatt Langford back to back. First time that's been done since 2018. Pitch misses high. Almost hit him, but not quite. 3 balls and a strike to Marte.
And again, we talked about it. That sound, once you hit it, you knew.
And we've also talked about the fact that you don't see a lot of home runs here at Crutchfield Park. And so tonight we've seen 2 very well hit balls, especially the one off of the bat of Spikes. So Sweeney at first for the Turks, the leadoff single here in the top of the 6th. Marte ahead in the count, 3 balls and a strike.
Dylan Yannick from College Station, Texas. Interesting to see different location than the East Coast that we're typically seeing here.
3-1 pitch, swing and a miss, off-speed pitch, and out in front of it was Marte, and that will take the count full. With the runner at first, nobody out. Turks are trailing 4, though. We wouldn't expect to see much in the way of running here. From the set, here's the 3-2 pitch. Fastball is swung on and fouled out of play. Back toward the Dolphin woods.
There's a lot of sound effects that have been played here at Crutchfield Park.
Yeah.
I've heard pig, I've heard cow, I've heard dolphin. So not quite sure what lives out in that woods there, but it's definitely something.
Some crazy stuff. That's why as a kid you don't want to go chasing balls out
Oh,
there.
definitely. I can speak firsthand. I was back there. It's not worth it.
Here comes payoff pitch number 2 from Yannick. Swing, and he just got a piece of it right straight back to the screen. So battling it back here, bat for Carlos Marte, the second baseman.
As Garrett Spikes runs some balls out to the umpire behind home plate. Dylan Yannick has 26 strikeouts on the season, which is tied for 10th in the VBL. The only one on the roster for the Tom Sox with more is Brady Kirtner with 28. He's tied for 6th.
And he's picked up a couple tonight. That pitch, though, misses high and inside, and so now runners at first and second after the single and the walk for the Turks. So that's Not what you want to see after you just put a 4 spot on the board and get 2 on with nobody out, but nonetheless, that's where we find ourselves now. And the leadoff hitter, Clay Lockett, who comes up tonight, 1 for 3, a single and a couple of ground outs. Bats here with runners at first and second and nobody out.
It's good that you have the insurance, but you don't want to have to cash in on that insurance right away.
No, you don't. Here's the pitch, just missing low. He had the heart of the plate, but didn't get the low strike call there. So 1-0 to Clay Lockett. Right-hand hitter facing the righty Yannock.
Opposing batters are currently batting 141 against Yannock, so it shows how dominant he's been.
Called strike right down the heart of the plate with a good solid fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike to Lockett. Lockett leads the Turks with extra bases with 4 doubles and a home run. There's a pitch missing low. 2-1.
And I will say it has been resilient for the Tom Sox because we've seen a lot of players who started the season aren't with the team anymore, whether because they went other places, they went home, they were preparing for the draft, got injured. There's been a lot of players who have come and gone for this roster, and they've still stayed one of the best in the VBL.
They seem to have gotten better as the season's worn on. They've certainly been hot lately. 10 of their last 11.
Best record in the VBL, highest win streak in the VBL, best record over the last 10 in the VBL. Sox are hot.
Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Over those last 10 games, they've averaged 7.5 runs as well. And after a slow start tonight, they've suddenly gotten back into that realm as they lead at 6-2 here in the top of the 6th. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Lockett with 2 on, nobody out. Here's the pitch from Yannock. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout. His 3rd strikeout since coming into the ball game. And that was a big one there to get the first out with runners at first and second, and that'll bring up the number 2 hitter, Peyton Crispin.
Absolutely huge there. You have 2 guys on. If you allow anything there, you're kind of setting yourself an even bigger hole. Yannock says, all right, let me knock him off and get 1 out here. Now the opportunity to possibly turn 2 and get out of the inning without a run.
Crispin did hit a ground ball to short his first time. He struck out in the 3rd and then was one of those Turks who was hit by a pitch to lead off an inning back in the 5th, and he came around to score. There's going to be a little conversation on the mound, though, right now. Corey Kohler is going to talk to Dylan Yannock and all the infielders, and he's going to make a change.
Relatively short outing here for Yannock. We saw him play in Percival, was really dominant and pitched a whole bunch of innings. This one is a much shorter outing for him, just didn't kind of have the control that he had in Percival, so it'll be interesting to see who the Tom Sox bring in here to replace him.
Number 33.
Ward.
Andrew Ward.
Fluvanna's own.
From Troy, Virginia. Set over my shoulder, Fluvanna's own. Plays his baseball at VCU. So Andrew Ward. Yeah, that's easy for me to say. Andrew
Yeah, finally,
Ward,
right?
Yeah. Finally get an easy name, and I can't say it.
Andrew Ward hasn't played the most amount of innings for the Tom Sox this year, but we saw him come in earlier this season. He had 8 strikeouts in that matchup, 6 straight. I actually got the honor to interview him after the game, and he just talked about his control and how he's kind of attacking that mindset. Sometimes when a guy is just in the zone and, for lack of a better word, hot and in control, he really just deals, and that 6 strikeout performance against Harrisonburg showed that.
Did you say 6 consecutively?
6 consecutive strikeouts, 8 total. And it was against these same Harrisonburg Turks, so let's see if he can kind of repeat that.
6'3", 255-pound sophomore, and as we said, out of Troy, Virginia. So he is a local kid playing at VCU, and he comes in here with 2 on and 1 out, and he's got 2, 3, and 4 ahead of him.
He played at Fluvanna County High School, won the state championship there, and his favorite non-baseball athlete, and if I gave you 100 guesses, you'd never get it, Kevin Hart.
Well, you're right. I wouldn't have got that.
I don't know if I'd consider him the most prolific of athletes, but to each their own.
So big spot here to try to put out the fire after the Tom Sox put 4 on the board or 5 on the board, I should say, back in the 5th inning, including a 3-run homer and a solo homer back-to-back, and it was pointed out that that was the first time that has happened for the Tom Sox since 2018 because, as we have said numerous times, they don't hit a lot of home runs. They score in a lot of other ways.
And if you want somebody who's going to come in and be a killer for the Harrisonburg Turks, it's Andrew Ward. He's pitched a combined 5.2 innings against this team, and he has 13 strikeouts in those 5.2 innings. So he's a guy that has seemed to have a lot of success against Harrisonburg, so it's not surprising that Ward draws the nod here.
So he will face Peyton Crispin here. It's a left-hand hitter against this lefty on the hill now, Andrew Ward. Crispin is 0 for 2 officially with the hit by pitch that also led to a run. He came around to score on a double steal. He was at third and scored after the runner at first went to second, and they executed the double steal perfectly. At the time, that put the Turks ahead 2-1. Bats here with runners at first and second and 1 out. Lefty-lefty matchup. Nice breaking ball, but just missed a little low. Not by much. 1-0.
No, not by much at all. And I mean, I hate to go back to his past performance because it was so incredible, but faced 14 batters, struck out 8 of them. And the Crutchfield Park crowd really got into it, so it'll be interesting to see if he can tap into that energy and propel him again.
1-0 pitch, swing and a miss. Another off-speed ball, but Crispin went chasing a little bit out of the zone. Looked like it was low and away, but it had enough break on it. And so the count evens up at a ball and a strike, with Michael Rosario, the number 3 hitter, on deck for the Turks, who trail at 6-2 here in the top of the 6th. Another off-speed pitch, and that's a called strike on the inside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and the way you were describing him, I was expecting to see a guy come out here and throw a lot of heat, but he has come out here throwing a lot of breaking balls.
Yeah, he's not exactly somebody, in my opinion, that'll blow it right past you. He's going to kind of more finesse and control you around the plate.
Working from the set, checks the runners. 1-2 offering, swing, and he just got a piece of it and dribbled it toward the Tom Sox dugout to stay alive at a ball and 2 strikes. And the organist kicks into play here at Crutchfield Park.
Going back and checking my data here. Yeah, he usually throws around like 87, 88 miles an hour, so it's a little bit slower for a fastball, but he has such control over his pitches and such dominance that when he throws a ball, he knows where it's going to land, and he knows how to just fool batters and keep them off balance.
1-2 offering, swing and a miss. Beautiful off-speed pitch, and he went chasing a low one that looked like it was out of the zone. So big strikeout there is the second out of the inning. Second consecutive strikeout in the inning. The one previously was Dylan Yanak, and this one comes from Andrew Ward, and that will bring up the number 3 hitter, Michael Rosario, who has been on board all 3 times. He's been hit by a pitch twice tonight. He's also singled, so he is 1 for 1 officially, and he bats here with 2 away and 2 on. And he will try to keep things going for the Turks, who trail it by 4. Swinging a long fly ball to right field. That one is deep. He is going to give a bat toss because that ball is miles beyond the right field fence. That was a no-doubter, and he did the classic bat toss. Not sure how that'll be well received in the Tom Sox bench, but nonetheless, a 3-run homer that cuts this lead from 6-2 to 6-5.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to say, but he knew it was gone. He watched it for about 2 steps, flipped the bat a couple of times, and it was gone. I don't think the Tom Sox will take very likely to that massive flip, but
I don't think I've seen a flip like that in watching Valley League baseball, but that was certainly quite a bat flip, and it was quite a shot. He got all of that one. That was hit even further than Garrett Spikes was, I do believe. So 6-5 now, and that'll bring up Logan McNeely, and he takes a pitch just outside for ball 1. McNeely is 0 for 2 with a walk. He's had a pop out, a ground out, and that walk back in the 3rd. Fastball at the knees for a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike.
You know, guys coming into games, they know what narratives are and they know what's happened in the past. So I think Harrisonburg knew that Andrew Ward had great success and said, you know what, we're going to take it to you this game.
1-1 pitch misses outside, a breaking ball to the right hand hitting McNeely.
Rosario proves there that he deserves to be an all-star with that hit.
Swing and a miss at an off-speed pitch, and McNeely way out in front of it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So we spent all this time talking about how you don't see much home run action here at Crutchfield Park in the last inning. We have seen 3. And there's a pitch missing high, and that takes the count full.
And one of the unfortunate things here the Tom Sox do is the scoreless 6th inning. Well, that home run kind of put that to bed, yeah.
Payoff pitch misses, and Logan McNeely is aboard with a 2-out walk. So after the strong start from Ward and the strikeout, he has given up the long home run and the 2-out walk, and that'll bring up Travis Reifschneider.
Final line for Yannock, 1.1 innings pitched, 1 hit, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts with just 9 batters faced.
Reifschneider came in as a pinch hitter back in the 5th inning. He struck out after Derek Crum had struck out twice tonight. There's a called strike on the outside corner. So this left-hander stayed in the game after coming in as the pinch hitter. He's playing in right field, facing the lefty Andrew Ward. Here's the pitch, swing, and a soft, shallow fly ball to center that's going to drop for a base hit. Runner can't get past second because it was so shallow, such a shallow hit, but nonetheless, it's a 2-out single, and runners are now at first and second for the Turks, and they have a little something going again with Bryce Safrowicz coming up.
Charlottesville currently with 9 hits, Harrisonburg currently with 6. Harrisonburg also has an error, so lots of hits coming, 15 through, not 6 yet total, but still 15 hits combined for both these teams.
And most of those in the middle 3 innings. So the first 3 innings really were a breeze for the pitching, on the pitching side of things, but things have broken open here, especially in the last 2 innings. First pitch to Safrowicz is a called strike. He is 0 for 1. He grounded out back in the 2nd, but since then has reached as a hit batsman who came around to score and walked.
2.5 innings, we've seen 11 runs, so definitely a middle-heavy game here for the Tom Soxon Turks.
Ward working from the set, checks both of the runners, kicks and deals, swing and a foul back over their heads into the wooded area near the train tracks.
I will say it is very interesting to when you bring up the train, because to see the train when it comes through, and you can definitely feel it and hear it, and
it's awesome.
It just adds to like the ambiance of a ballpark.
0-2 the count. Here it comes from Ward. Tried to get him to chase a low one, but Safrowicz held off, and it's a ball and 2 strikes.
Every ballpark has its little idiosyncrasies and different moments like that, but to feel and to hear the train as it comes through is just kind of something cool.
A ballpark with character and characters. As you hear on the foul ball, swing and a chopper right in front of the plate. The catcher is going to come out and play it. Ebel will throw to first and make the play. The hitter didn't get out of the box very quickly because I think he thought it was going to go foul, but he grounds out weakly to end the inning, but not before the Turks put a big 3 spot on the board with a huge home run to right field from Michael Rosario. So we're through 5.5. The score, Charlottesville 6 and Harrisonburg 5. So for the Tom Sox, it's going to be 8, 9, and 1, including some substitutions that we have had, and I think we're caught up on those. Cam Guidry still in the ball game, though, here in the number 8 spot, the shortstop, and he comes up here to start the 6th inning in what has become kind of a wild game after a bit of a pitcher's duel for the first third of it. It's now 6-5, Charlottesville. Each team has hit the long ball tonight. Charlottesville has 2 of them. Harrisonburg has 1. First pitch to Guidry, breaking ball is hit foul and out of play toward the broken glass part of the ballpark.
Yeah, we said all night, not many home runs, and they said, we'll change that for you, and we'll knock in 3.
Those guys do not know what they're talking about.
I feel like every time an announcer says, "Oh, well, this hasn't happened this season," or this, and then the players go,
goes.
"Okay, let's make sure we make this happen."
0-1. The pitch to Guidry, swing and a miss. Strike 2. So Guidry in a hole to start the bottom of the 6th. Though just look at when it looked like the Tom Sox put themselves in a nice cruising position. Harrisonburg strikes back with the big 2-out 3-run bomb in the top of the 6th, and it's back to being a 1-run game.
All it takes is one pitch.
2-strike pitch did not miss by much. The catcher, McNeely, tried to frame that one but did not get the call. A ball and 2 strikes to Guidry. Eddie Eisert is on deck as he has come in to replace Will Safford, one of the many substitution. Here's a pitch missing low. 2-2.
Cam Guidry from Athens, Georgia, plays for Georgia. One of the most consistent guys, had an 11-game on-base streak snap Monday.
2-2 offering a soft liner out toward right. The right fielder coming in, and Crum is going to be able to make the play. It just hung up a little bit too long to drop in for a base hit. So 1 up and 1 down for the Tom Sox, and that will bring up Eddie Eisert for his first at bat of the night.
It'll actually still be Will Safford. So Will Safford was at second. He shifted to center field. So Will Safford will stay here. I believe Eddie Eisert will probably take the place of the center fielder that was in at the current time, Trevor Candelaria. Yes. It's tough. There's a lot of substitutions made that half inning.
And here's a well-hit ball out toward right field, but that one is caught. So 2 up and 2 down. And that'll bring up Piers Bennett, the leadoff hitter, back to the top of the order for the Tom Sox. Bennett has been on base once for the walk. He was cut down stealing. He's also struck out and lined out.
Yeah, Safford, one of those guys that can play a multitude of different positions like Gary Giebel.
Breaking ball is a called strike on the outside corner to Bennett.
It's got to be weird to say, okay, I'm playing second base, I'm playing in the infield dirt all night, and now I'm back at the fence in center field.
It's good to have that kind of versatility. There's a ball bouncing in the dirt, backhanded nicely by McNeely. 1 ball and 1 strike to Bennett. 2 up and 2 down, nobody on here in a 6-5 ball game, bottom of the 6th. It's a game that started a half hour late due to some earlier rain. Here's a bouncing ball to third base, took a funny hop, but he stayed with it and makes the throw. Nicely done by Frederick Walter. That ball looked like it was going to kick through his legs after it took a funny hop, but he played it well and got the out. 3 up and 3 down, a quiet inning for the Tom Sox. We are through 6, and it's the Tom Sox 6 and Harrisonburg 5.
All right, Crutchfield Park, it's time to test.
And go Sox.
So crazy game as we head to the 7th inning. We are at a 6-5 score. Tom Sox lead it. Tom Sox put 4 on the board with 2 home runs in the bottom of the 5th. Harrisonburg put 3 in the top of the 6th with a home run. In each case, there's a 3-run homer. The Tom Sox just had one extra one, a solo, and theirs was back-to-back. So Frederick Walter will lead things off for the Turks. 7, 8, 9, bottom of the order for the Turks as they trail it by a run here in the 7th. Facing Andrew Ward, begins his 2nd inning of work and gets a fastball called a strike on the outside corner.
Yeah, the bottom of the sixth was the last half inning we've seen since the top of the fourth that somebody hasn't scored.
And another called strike on the outside corner, so quickly Ward is up in the count, 0-2 to Walter, who has walked, hit a beautiful sacrifice bunt, and struck out tonight. Swing and a miss. He goes down on 3 pitches there. Good way to start the 7th for Andrew Ward.
Again, put that last inning behind you. Focus on the guy at hand.
And that guy at hand is Jordan Sweeney, the first baseman, who is 1 for 3. Struck out looking in the 2nd, grounded to short in the 4th, and then he singled in that 6th inning and was aboard for the big 3-run homer for the Turks. Takes a pitch on the inside corner for a strike. So Ward has started out well in command here in the 7th inning, 4 consecutive strikes. Just barely missed with that one. A good breaking ball that was just below the knees to go for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 away. Nobody on. Swing and a miss. Another off-speed pitch, a beauty. 1-2.
He's definitely a guy that when he gets in his zone and finds his rhythm, he stays locked in. So hopefully he's kind of found his groove and is able to capitalize.
1-2 pitch is a low one that kicks into the chest protector of the catcher. 2 balls and 2 strikes. It looks like he is really adept at keeping hitters off balance, mixing the speeds and good locations. Swing and a miss. Struck him out.
Right on cue.
Back-to-back strikeouts to start the 7th inning, and for Ward, that is his 3rd strikeout overall in the night. And that's going to bring up Carlos Marte, the number 9 hitter. Marte grounded out in the 2nd. He singled and drove in a run in the 4th, stole a base, and then walked and came around and scored on the 3-run homer in the 6th. So he's had a pretty decent night, 1 for 2 with a run and an RBI. Takes a pitch at the knees for a strike. Ward continues to be well in command here in the 7th. 1 strike offering, breaking ball is a called strike. That one was beautiful. Started outside the zone and broke right across the plate.
Andrew Ward, again, is not going to blow by you with the world's fastest pitch, but he will be able to control you in every single aspect of the plate.
And he's going to step off the rubber now and get a new set of signs from his catcher, Garrig Ebel. Andrew Ward from the full stretch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. 3 strikeouts in the 7th inning. 3 up and 3 down. And we head to the 7th inning stretch here in Charlottesville. The score is Charlottesville 6 and Harrisonburg 5. So if you are stuck at home, you missed the roaring rendition of the 7th inning stretch, Take Me Out to the Ball Game. But we all survived, and here we are.
I'll tell you what, I'm 22 years old. I'm still relatively young, but even I need that stretch because my legs are starting to cramp up here.
Yeah. So we head to the bottom of the 7th for the Tom Sox. It's 2, 3, and 4. Amos, Ebel, and one of the substitutions that came in the previous inning, Nunez. 6-5 is our score. After some wild, well, looks like we got a substitution again.
So Eddie Iser is going to be at the plate.
I'm not sure how this works, but
So Logan Amos would normally be up here, but
Right.
Eddie Iser is now
Guess there's
coming
no
in to take his place.
DH is the only thing I can figure out, but I'm not sure. So I'll trust you, and it's Eddie Iser at the plate for Logan Amos, and the first pitch is a called strike. Amos finished 1 for 3 with a double and an RBI. Iser takes a pitch outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. He has only been with the ball club a few games, hitting at .273 coming into the game tonight. 3 for 11, all singles. Swings and fouls it out of play.
He had to wait a little bit to come to Charlottesville because he's kind of doing something a little bit more important with NC State.
Yeah. In the shocking story that was NC State. Here's the 1-2 offering, and that one misses outside and low. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Iser.
And I love personal details like this, so I'll mention it. So Eddie Iser, courtesy of David Argo, found out this stat. His mom played tennis at St. Bonaventure, which is up by where my grandmother lives, so it's kind of cool to see that connection, too.
2-2 pitch is a called strike at the knees. Iser did not like it, but that's going to go down as the first out of the inning. And that will bring up Garrick Ebel, I believe. Although I'm not confident with who.
No, I'm not confident either. Honestly, I've been doing a lot of the scoring for the stats department, and this is definitely one of the weirdest switches and rotations I've seen all night.
So Garrick Ebel is in the game still, and he is 1 for 2 with a walk. He singled back in the big 5th inning for the Tom Sox. He was on board for the big home run that Adam Cesare hit. So Ebel will come in, 1 for 2 overall. He's had a strikeout and a walk as well. Pitch from McClure is taken outside and low. Ball 1.
So Garrick Ebel, like I mentioned, spent a lot of time in that leadoff spot. He reached base 41% of the time. He was in that leadoff spot with 13 walks since he was moved there to June 24th. Not there tonight, but still pretty successful there in that spot.
Takes a called strike on the inside corner. Beautiful pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike to Garrick Ebel, hitting in the 3-hole tonight. Missing outside. It's 2 balls and a strike.
It's always nice to see a fastball go right down the plate, but I think every once in a while to see a pitch just bend back in or move in a different direction and fool a batter, I think that's just one of the cool things about baseball.
To an offering, big breaking ball, swing and a miss. Strike 2, evens things up, 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 away, and I believe Elijah Nunez on deck.
Should be. We'll see what happens.
Who came in for Garrett Spikes back in the 6th when there were wholesale substitutions. That pitch bouncing in the dirt, and so that takes the count full for Ebel with nobody aboard, 1 away here in the home half of the 7th inning.
Now, I can tell you purely based on height of the batter in the on-deck circle is not Garrett Spikes, but I can't quite see the number.
Here's a chopper toward the third baseman. That's going to be foul, just barely foul. It was going to be a very tough play. It was a high chopper that he played right behind the bag, but it just missed staying in fair territory, so it will just remain 3-2 as Ebel will jog back to the batter's box.
Now, it will be Elijah Nunez. He comes out the on-deck circle to grab the bat for Garrick, so it will be Elijah Nunez coming up to bat next.
Got that one right, at least.
Again, just a plethora of substitutions for the Tom Sox in that inning, kind of threw everything out of whack.
Anybody who's ever tried to keep score at a baseball game would understand that those challenges.
And I made the mistake of forgetting my pencil, so I'm doing a lot of this in pens, so I'm seeing a lot of scribbles.
I learned that lesson a long time ago. So we're here for another payoff pitch, and it's coming. Check swing, and that one just gets past the pitcher's mound. Third baseman has to come over and charge it. Makes a nice throw on the run and gets him. Very well played by Frederick Walter, who had to cut in front of the shortstop because the ball was a slow roller, and that was the only way they were going to get the out, and they indeed got it. 5-4, and that will bring up Elijah Nunez. Nunez just recently joining the organization. He's got 5 base hits on the year so far, one of them for a double. He's driven in 4 in his week plus of work here with the Tom Sox. Filling in for Garrett Spikes, who finishes the night 1 for 3, including a triple that he came around and scored on because he legged a double and turned it into a triple and then got an errant throw that brought him home. First pitch is swung on and fouled out of play.
Lots and lots of souvenirs. I mean, even as you see fans start to dissipate and go home for the night, there's still plenty of little kids that are saying, all right, you want to move out? I'll take your space and I'll take those foul balls.
I'm not sure I'd want to leave this game as crazy it's been. Pitch missing outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Nunez out of TCU, Grand Prairie, Texas. A team that was supposed to make the College World Series. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Breaking ball. Beautiful pitch. Nunez is behind in the count, of ball and 2 strikes.
And I'll say this, as somebody from out of state, seeing Virginia's run in the College World Series and what they did not realize how big Virginia baseball was.
It's pretty big. That pitch misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It is like the walking religion. I remember being at Crutchfield Park for a couple of games, and it'd be some 1-run ball games. People would be watching Virginia instead.
2-2 offering, missing outside, and the count goes full. Yes, the Virginia baseball faithful do support that team very well and will travel.
Yes, they do.
Here's the payoff pitch. Swing and a high foul ball. And that's going to drift out of play. Third baseman giving chase, but he's going to run out of room and let the little kids do the chasing, those that are still here.
And if you look, they're off running.
Oh, yeah, there they go.
We hear the charge chant going, and
I think the charge is for the kids.
it's definitely not for us.
So the count holds. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Elijah Nunez.
That's one of the really cool special things, is seeing the kids at the ballpark connecting with the fans and connecting with the other players.
And getting hooked on baseball. So McClure will come now with another payoff pitch. Swung on and once again fouled down that left field side and out of play. Into the kid zone.
Might as well just designate it the kid zone at this point with the amount of youngsters that are over there scrapping for foul balls.
I know I do. All you got to do is pitch your lawn chair down that left field line and you will see some action. Another 3-2 pitch on the way, and he takes it just low. So Nunez with a good battling it back, and he works his way on to a 2-out walk. And that will bring up, I believe, Cal Stark?
Yes.
Okay.
Again, believe is a very...
Cal Stark has been here for about half the season. He's got 9 base hits on the year, one of them a double. He does have a couple of home runs, 7 RBIs.
Cal coming in for Adam Cesari.
Who had a pretty good night, 2 for 3, including a very long 3-run homer back in the 5th inning.
Yeah, I'd say he's going to go home pretty content with his night. 3 home runs in 2 days. I don't think you can ask for much more.
Stark batting here with a runner at first, a 1-run lead. First pitch is a breaking ball that misses outside, 1-0. Nunez got off to a big secondary lead there, but didn't look like he was going to try to take off. With 2 outs, and we'll see if the Tom Sox try to run him. They don't on this pitch as it misses inside, 2-0.
I was lucky to see the Tom Sox set the stolen base record in Waynesboro, and I was also lucky to see Adam Cesari with his record yesterday. All-time base record of 11 in yesterday's Covington game, and with a couple of home runs and a double as well, it was pretty obvious to tell he was going to have a great night.
2-0 pitch is laced out into left field. That one is on the run with the left fielder. He is going to chase it down and make the play. Looked like it had a chance to drop, but it just hung up a little bit too long, and the Sox are retired here in the bottom of the 7th. No hits in the inning. They had a walk. They left a man. We are through 7. It's a 1-run game. Charlottesville 6 and Harrisonburg 5. So Andrew Ward is ready to start his third inning of work since coming on in the 6th. He has already compiled 4 strikeouts. He did give up a 3-run homer, but we're not worrying about that because he pitched quite well in the 7th, striking out the side, 3 up and 3 down. Almost an immaculate inning. I believe he finished with 11 pitches instead of the ultimate, the 9 in that 7th, but that was a very, very impressive inning.
And you know what? If you walk out of it with 3 strikeouts and 11 pitches, I don't think he's going to walk away too disappointed.
So he's got the top of the order here, and Clay Lockett, Peyton Crispin, and Michael Rosario, he of the 3-run homer here in the top of the 8th for the Turks, who trail it still by a run, 6-5. Andrew Ward is the 3rd pitcher of the night for the Tom Sox. He is local product out of the Palmyra area, Fluvanna High School. First pitch misses outside and low, and showing bunt is Lockett trying to bunt his way on. Lockett is 1 for 4 tonight with a single way back in the 1st to start this ball game, and has since grounded out twice and struck out. 1-0 pitch misses inside, doesn't show bunt there, and it's 2-0. Tom Sox have a right-hander throwing down in their pen now. Nobody throwing for the Turks. Good pitch right down the middle, maybe a slider. 2 balls and 1 strike to Lockett.
I couldn't even begin to guess who's warming up down in that bullpen, but
Swing and a miss, 2-2. So Andrew Ward comes back from being in a hole 2-0 and gets it to 2-2.
see if he can make it 4 strikeouts in a row here.
Looking in for the sign from Ebel. Kicks and deals, swing, and he just got a piece of it and fouled it back toward the wooded area. Count holds, 2 balls, 2 strikes to Clay Lockett.
I can tell you, can guarantee that there will be no kids back there. That thing was definitely hit deep. It's probably back by the train tracks.
And that pitch just missing high. Tried to get another breaking ball in there that Lockett might chase, but he did not. He laid off the high pitch, and we are full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The payoff coming from Ward. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. 4 consecutive strikeouts for Ward. 1 up and 1 down here for the Turks, and that'll bring up Peyton Crispin. You can just tell by the swings the Turks are putting on it that Ward has them off balance. He's got a lot of movement and speed differential on his pitches, and they are not swinging with a lot of authority.
I think some guys expect to see the 90s on their fastballs, and then when they see an 88, they're a little bit kind of thrown off.
Peyton Crispin, the number 2 hitter, fouls the first one back off the screen for a strike. He has struck out twice tonight. He has grounded out, and he has been hit by a pitch, as have 4 Turks overall. He came around to score after doing that back in the 5th. 1 strike pitch misses outside. A slider goes too far out. It's 1 ball and 1 strike to Crispin with the dangerous Michael Rosario on deck. Here's the 1-1 pitch, swing, and he got a piece of it and fouled it off toward the kid zone on the left side. Sounds like it broke some glass, though.
Sounds like it broke multiple pieces of glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Rosario coming up here for the Harrisonburg Turks. So definitely the guy they want up, and Andrew Ward would not want to face here.
Swinging a ground ball toward the shortstop. Guidry is up with it. He will throw to first. Got him. 2 up and 2 down. Guidry's had a nice solid night at short. He's had quite a few balls hit his way. And that's going to bring up Michael Rosario, who is 2 for 2. He has been hit by a pitch twice. And he's hit one a long way, a 3-run bomb in the 6th. He's also singled back in the 3rd. So a super night for Rosario, who is an all-star. His home run was his 3rd of the year. He's now with 11 RBIs on the year and 23 base hits. Takes a pitch way inside and bends out of the way of it for ball 1.
You talk about Cam Guidry in the field. His speed and his glove play is just something that really propels the Tom Sox at short. I mean, I know Cole Foster usually draws the nod there, but I think Cole Foster is somebody that really contributes, whether it's at second, short, or third base. He's somebody the Tom Sox love to have in the field.
1-0 pitch from Ward, and that's a fastball on the outside corner. evening things up at a ball and a strike to Rosario.
It's UVA night here tonight, but coming up, we'll see Women in Sports Night in the next week's matchup, then Education Appreciation Night and Fan Appreciation Night for the Tom Sox last game against Waynesboro. So a lot more promotions here at Crutchfield Park if you weren't able to make it out to tonight's game.
Swinging strike for strike two for Rosario. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Went way outside with it. A little too far to make Rosario think about chasing after it. That will even things up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody aboard, thank goodness. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. Ward has the sign. Kicks and deals. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. He has struck out 5 of the last 6 batters he has faced. That takes us out of the 8th inning. 3 up and 3 down. We head to the bottom of the 8th. The Turks are trailing the Tom Sox. It's a 6-5 score here in Charlottesville.
Welcome back here to Crutchfield Park. I'm Eric Fenstermaker, and the Valley League scoreboard is red hot tonight, and we have a lot of different teams playing in action. So let's catch you up on some of these games before we get back to the Crutchfield Park action here. The Front Royals in the top of the 9th currently lead the Purcellville Cannons by a score of 11-4. The Winchester Royals jumped out to a huge lead against Woodstock, and they've maintained it in the bottom of the 7th, currently leading 13-2 against Woodstock. In the top of the 8th inning, the Charlottesville Tom Sox, as we hear at Crutchfield Park, lead 6-5. And a final score tonight, the Stanton Braves took down the Covington Lumberjacks 6-2. Stanton facing a weaker Covington team who the Tom Sox just beat. They beat them by 4 runs, and the team that the Tom Sox will see on Friday. Now let's jump back to the action here at Crutchfield Park as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning.
So the Tom Sox will bring up 6, 7, and 8, hoping to maybe tack on an insurance run here as we get toward the end of this ball game, because just when you thought a lead was safe, you saw that it can change quickly. Number 16 has said something to the umpire, so I'm guessing that means that we have a...
That means Cole Foster's coming into the game for Wyatt Langford.
So Cole Foster steps in. We've been talking about him tonight. Been a solid, steady ball player for the Tom Sox throughout this year, and he gets a pinch hit shot here in the 8th inning to lead things off.
Cole Foster, one of the All-Stars for the Tom Sox that we've seen today.
Foster, this will be his 100th at bat of the year. Swing and a miss, strike 1 to Foster. He comes in hitting at .222. 22 base hits, 7 of them for double, 1 triple, 6 runs batted in. Left-hand hitter against Logan McClure, who is a righty. He's been on for a few innings since coming on back in the 5th, I believe. Bounces one in there, a ball and a strike.
It's good for a lot of these Tom Sox guys who are going to be All-Stars to get. This will be the last home game before the All-Star game on Sunday, believe it or not, with that long stretch. It's good for these guys to kind of get one more appearance before they go out to Harrisonburg for the All-Star game in front of the fans, because a lot of these guys, like Cole Foster, like Dylan Yannock, have really earned it.
1 ball and 1 strike. Here is the delivery. Swing and a foul out of play on the left side over the Turk dugout into that kid zone area. I think we're starting to see less and less kids doing some chasing, though. It's getting a little late.
There may be less and less, but I'll tell you, the couple that are still going over there, they're still fighting hard. Cole Foster, one of the most consistent bats, 18 runs and 7 doubles on the air, leading the team.
1-2 offering, beautiful breaking ball, and he froze Foster on that one, who goes down looking for out number 1 here in the 8th, and that will bring up, I believe, Eddie Iser.
Nope, Jack Hurley, who knows?
Oh, that's right. So Jack Hurley, he is in the spot once occupied by Trevor Candelaria.
Jack Hurley, one of the newcomers here for the Tom Sox out of Virginia Tech.
It's a left-hand hitter facing this righty McClure. Swing and a chopper on the right side. First baseman's going to play it, but it's foul, just barely. That was going to be an easy out. So fortunate for Hurley that the ball just went foul. He comes into the game at 217. He's only had 23 at bats so far. 5 base hits, one of them for extra bases, a double. He's driven in 3 in his short stint with the Tom Sox thus far.
In his game against Waynesboro on July 1st, he had 3 stolen bases, and one of those stolen bases did set the Tom Sox record all time.
Takes a pitch on the outside corner. That was a beauty from Logan McClure. So Hurley is in a hole now, 0-2, with Cam Guidry on deck. This pitch bounces right in front of the plate for a ball, 1-2. Tried to get a breaker in there, but it broke a little sharply, a little early.
Jack's from Boalsburg, PA, which strikes a good record for me, which is right outside of State College, which is home to Happy Valley and Penn State. So good talking with Jack about the area and kind of bonding with him over that region.
1-2 pitch outside, 2-2. I'm a big fan of the name Happy Valley, I must say. Virginia has the good old song. Penn State has Happy Valley. I mean, you know.
I'll tell you what, the good old song, it sounds very historic. It sounds very traditional. I really like the good old song.
2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out. So McClure has had a strong 8th here with back-to-back strikeouts, 1 looking, 1 swinging, and that will bring up Cam Guidry, who is hitless tonight in 3 trips, is grounded out, lined out to right, and struck out. Guidry playing a good solid shortstop tonight.
Couple really nice backhand plays.
He's very solid out there. Good slider in there for a strike.
And believe it or not, folks, Cam Guidry is supposed to be batting here. There are no substitutions or changes, so.
0-1. Another good breaking ball in there for a strike, and it's 0-2. So McClure working his best inning here.
And he's moving really quickly through his Tom Sox lineup.
2-strike pitch, swing, and he just got a piece of it and fouled it over the storage barn behind the Tom Sox dugout. Count holds 0-2.
Here are a couple of ducks, I guess, moving out of the way.
Yeah.
Cam Guidry, a huge Braves fan, which makes sense in Athens, Georgia.
Pitch just missing a little low, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Since giving up the 2 home runs shortly after coming in, McClure has been pretty solid. Swing, and he just, did not get a piece of it. That went right into the catcher's mitt. So another 3 up and 3 down consecutive strikeout innings, 1 by each pitcher here, and we are complete through 8, no runs across, so we go to the top of the 9th. It's a 1-run game. Charlottesville 6, Harrisonburg 5. So Andrew Ward comes out once again here in the 9th inning to hopefully nail down a save for the Tom Sox. He has been stellar since giving up a 3-run homer to his second hitter faced back in the 6th. But since that time, he has struck out 5 of the last 6 hitters he has faced, and overall has struck out 6 Turks tonight since coming into the ball game. So he has kept hitters off balance with a lot of breaking stuff and great command, and what we're looking for here is a nice 3 up and 3 down save.
Exactly, and he's come in, like you mentioned, okay, he gives up the bomb, but then what he also does is he responds immediately with strikeouts. In the 7th and 8th inning, he's come in with 5 now, so he's really dominated. Okay, you have your early, mishaps, but I think one of the key things about this Tom Sox team to look for is how they respond. They're down, they come back. They struggle, they come back. The Tom Sox are a really resilient roster. I think Andrew Ward is the perfect embodiment of that with 6 strikeouts.
I've really enjoyed watching him for sure because you can tell he really works the strike zone and has good command of his pitches, so it's been fun to watch him. He will face 4, 5, and 6 here for the Turks. Logan McNeely, Travis Reifschneider, and Bryce Safferwich. McNeely, the catcher, the cleanup hitter, steps in first. And this first pitch, a fastball sailed a little high and outside.
And as far as I'm aware, there were no substitutions in that. Normally the Tom Sox will shuffle around in the ninth. None as far as I can tell.
Swing and a miss. Strike one. 1 ball and 1 strike to McNeely. He popped out to first back in the first inning. Walked in the third. Grounded into a fielder's choice in the fifth and walked again in the sixth. Here's a pitch bouncing inside and kicks away from catcher Ebel, so he'll get a new baseball and toss it out to Ward. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
I think it's really important that he retires McNeely here. He's the last of the really loaded top half of this roster for the Turks. So if he can kind of get there, it should be a little bit of a smoother sailing towards the middle of the pack.
Swing, and he just poked it through the right side, a seeing eye base hit. It was not really even a full swing, kind of a check swing, a 3/4 swing, and went right between the first baseman and the second baseman for a base hit to lead off the 9th inning, and not what you wanted to see. Austin Mueller. So Austin Mueller will be the pinch hitter here for the Harrisonburg Turks for Travis Reifschneider, who came in as a pinch hitter a couple innings ago.
And I have to shout out Austin Mueller here. He is actually from my hometown in PA.
There you go.
I would never would have thought I would have seen that. So pretty cool to actually see him bat. I was hoping to see him tonight.
First pitch showing bunt, and he pops it up, and that is going to just fall foul. That would have been a tough play. So he was trying to get that tying run down to second base, but it was popped foul. Mueller coming into the ball game, trying to find his batting at 162 on the year. He's played in 18 of the Turks games thus far, has 6 base hits. 2 of them are doubles. He has driven in 2 on the year, no homers on the year. He's a right-hander, pretty big guy. Pitch shows bunt again, and again bunts it foul, this time toward the Tom Sox dugout. So he threw his head back in disgust as 2 consecutive attempts at a bunt have gone foul. One popped down the third base line, and this one squibbed down the first base line, both in foul territory. So now he's in that 2-strike count. That's the second time tonight that Turks have not been able to put down the bunt and had to fall into a 2-strike count. Here's the pitch, swing, and he just got a piece of it and popped it foul out of play.
15 strikeouts for him on the year, just batting 162. I kind of surprised to see such a low batting average for a guy that's going to come in and pinch hit, but he is a bigger batter, so if he puts his bat in the ball, he should be able to drive it deep. So hopefully Ward can get the strikeout here and retire the Allentown native.
Mueller batting with 1 out, or with nobody out and 1 on. It's a 1-run game. Here's the 2-strike pitch, swing, and he just got a piece of it. This time dribbled toward the Turks dugout. So the least you can say about him is he is battling. He's had 4 consecutive foul balls, 2 on bunts and 2 on full swings.
He's 5'11", 220, but I'll tell you right now, it does not look like it from the press box. It looks much bigger.
Yeah. From the set, Ward comes to the plate, and that one gets away from the catcher, and that will get the runner down into scoring position. And that's going to be a pass ball. Looked like it's something that perhaps Ebel might have been crossed up there, and in fact, they're going to have a quick little chat. I think that might have been a mix-up on the signs, but nonetheless, it's a very costly pass ball because now a runner's in scoring position that could tie this game, and there's nobody out. It's a 1-2 count to the hitter, Austin Mueller, the pinch hitter, but he's got now a chance to deliver a runner from scoring position.
And now this pitch here becomes even more important because you get that 3rd strike, you put 1 out on the board, and that changes a lot of things from 1 to 0. So really important here that Andrew Ward is dialed in. He can deliver a pitch to keep Mueller off balance.
So Ward and Hebel discussed about their signs because obviously that one crossed Hebel up, and now Ward steps off the rubber to get a new set of signs. You don't see Hebel miss balls like that, so you could tell he was definitely crossed up. From the set, checks the runner. Here's the pitch, and that one way inside and almost hit the hitter, but Mueller just got out of the way of it, so it's evening things up at 2-2.
I honestly do not know how that missed Mueller. He had to do a real acrobatic move there to kind of avoid the ball, and very, very inside there. Probably should have been a hit by pitch, to be honest.
From the set, here's another 2-2 offering. Swing, and he fouls it back off the screen. Count holds 2-2, so Mueller has really battled through this pinch hitting appearance. He is making Ward work for it.
And, I mean, that does really help the other batters who come after him to wear down a pitcher. It's not just for him in this situation.
To the stretch. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. The ball's on the ground, so he's going to try to go to first. Here's the throw down to first. They'll get him. So Evil had trouble handling it at first, but he was able to make the throw down and get the out. 1 out in the inning, a big first out, and that is the 7th strikeout for Ward since coming in the 6th inning. And that will bring up Bryce Safrowich, and now there's going to be a conversation on the mound and perhaps a pitching change, which is a little surprising, but it was quite a performance from Andrew Ward. And he's getting a hand from the remaining faithful here at Crutchfield Park, also being met by some teammates as he comes off.
I believe this is Carter Spivey. I could be wrong. It is Carter Spivey, yes, out of Eastern Carolina.
Having that confirmed, Carter Spivey will come in a critical situation because he is going to inherit a runner in scoring position and 1 out on the year. He comes in with a 2.92 ERA. This will be his 7th appearance on the year, all of them in relief. He has 1 decision. He's 1-0. He has saved 2. So he does have a couple of saves. In fact, he would be tied for the lead in saves for the Tom Sox. He's worked in 12 innings. Given up 8 base hits, only 4 runs. He has struck out 14 in his 12 innings while only walking 2. So he has exhibited good control thus far. And here, that's going to be very important.
Andrew Ward, final line. 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run. That run was earned, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts and 13 batters faced. So we talked about 14 batters faced, 8 strikeouts. This time, 13 batters faced, 7 strikeouts. Almost could have repeated that.
He pitched really well. I mean, so he did give up that 3-run homer onto his second hitter face, but boy, he was stellar after that. So really nice performance from the local grown product, Andrew Ward, who exits here with 1 out and a runner at second. That is the tying run. So big moment here for Spivey to try and get that save.
I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit surprised that they're going to Spivey here. I think Ward pitched really dominantly. Maybe just, I don't know, the pitch counts and all the finagles.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can figure is maybe it's a pitch count thing.
But Andrew Ward pitched really dominantly, and I really trust Carter Spivey on the mound. I just kind of find it odd that, especially after registering a strikeout, that they're going to go a different pitcher with already 1 out in the 9th.
Yeah, so the only thing I can think of is that maybe Ward has worked quite a bit recently or something. Spivey in the last 10 days has only pitched an inning and 2/3. So he hasn't worked too much over the past week or so.
When he's come in, he's looked to be a changer for this bullpen. But again, when Andrew Ward had 7 strikeouts, it just strikes me a little bit odd that you wouldn't try to finish out the game with Ward, especially because the last time this situation happened, you let Ward ride it out with the strikeouts. Now you change it again. It was almost the exact same mirror image, but you change it up a bit. So it'll be interesting to see how Spivey can record these last 2 outs, hopefully, for the Tom Sox.
He will have Safrowich, the 6-hole hitter, starting things off here. Safrowich is hitless tonight, but he's been on twice because he was hit by a pitch and he drew a walk. He came around to score after being hit. That was the first run of the ball game back when the Turks went out to a 1-0 lead way back in the 4th inning. Now trail at 6-5. He bats here with a runner at second, 1 out. That's the tying run in scoring position. First pitch, swing and a slow roller just past the pitching mound. Third baseman is over. Going to be a tough play. Throw to first. He got him. Well done by Pierce Bennett, who, similar to a play we saw in the previous inning for the Turks, had to cut in front of Cam Guidry because of the slow rolling ground ball. So he went aggressively after it and made the good strong throw over to first to get the second out of the inning. Runner goes to third on the play. So now the tying run is 90 feet away, but there are 2 outs for Frederick Walter.
And that is just, you can't even describe how huge that is, because now so many options are taken away to score this run here. If you don't get that out, you can do a sac fly to move that along or whatever, but now with 2 outs, it changes the entire dynamic of how Harrisonburg can score here.
So Frederick Walter comes up hitless tonight. He did deliver a nice bunt back in the 4th inning. Otherwise, he has walked and struck out twice. The Let's Go Tom Sox crew gets going.
The interns know it's on hand here. They know how hot the Tom Sox have been. They're going to try to keep that going.
From the stretch, Spivey's pitch is a fastball just a little low. Ball 1 to Frederick Walter. Tying run is 90 feet away, but there are 2 outs here in the top of the 9th.
They have a saying around Crutchfield Park. It's the Sox are hot. They've won 9 of their last. They've won 9-1 in their last 10 games. So, trying to make it an even better record here.
From the stretch, Spivey looks over to that runner at third. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss at a fastball. Not a good swing there from Walter. Looked like he was expecting something else and was way behind on it. So that evens things up at a ball and a strike.
Walter has struck out his last 2 times at bat. So Tom Sox looking to make it 3 here with a 1-1 count.
Everybody straight away on defense. A 1-1 pitch. Another fastball. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. So Spivey has thrown a couple of really good-looking low-in-the-zone fastballs, and Walter has not been swinging too authoritatively at them.
When we initially entered his name the first time in our data, somebody put his name in as Carter Spicy. So interesting to see some kind of spicy pitches here, keeping him away from the batter, Walter.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Rhythmic applause starting on here at Crutchfield Park. Batter takes time. Steps out, now steps back in. And Spivey will look at Ebel quickly for the sign, and he has it. Goes to the belt, checks over to the runner. Takes a long look. Now the 1-2 pitch goes outside, nicely backhanded by Ebel. Evening things up at 2-2. That ball was way outside, and if he doesn't backhand that, this is probably a tie ball game. So it's 2-2.
Yeah, Gary Gebel huge on that play, stopping the ball because, like you mentioned, just 90 feet away is that tying run. So the impact that Gary Gebel's had as a catcher today can't be understated.
From the set, a 2-2 offering. Spivey, here it comes. Swing and a slow chopper toward third base. Third baseman dives, can't get it, and that's going to get through the hole for a base hit, and this game is all tied up. A slow roller that just was enough to elude Pierce Bennett, who made a gallant effort for it. Even had he got the ball, I'm not sure he would have been able to get the guy out at first. But it just got past his glove into right or left field, and so the game-tying single. And it's 6-6, and Jordan Sweeney will come to the plate.
Kind of let some of the air out of the tires here at Crutchfield Park. 1 out away from a win, and now the Tom Sox are going to have to come back up to bat and register a run if they need to push this thing to a W.
And that's one of those classic baseball plays, too. It was not sharply hit at all. It was a slow roller that just happened to go in the right part of the park. It was just a little bit out of the reach of the third baseman, Bennett, to get through and get the hit and score the tying run. So here comes Jordan Sweeney. Swings and misses for strike 1. It's a funny thing about baseball, sometimes you can hit it right on the cue and just drill it, but right at somebody. Goes for an out, and then you hit a ball like that, just barely hit, and it goes through for the game-tying single.
Sports are a game of inches, and it's the perfect explanation there. An inch more to the left. Pierce Bennett's fielding that. We're walking away with a win, and with that, the Tom Sox having a bat in the 9th.
1 strike pitch is a low one, and that bounces outside of the plate and blocked there by Ebel. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Frederick Walter is at first. He would represent the go-ahead run.
I will say this, though. Pierce Bennett laid out and made his complete full effort to try to get that ball. It was just, like you mentioned, just tiny, tiny, tiny bit out of reach.
Runner bluffs going, swung on and fouled back out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I'm sure that's no consolation for Pierce Bennett. He looks like he's kind of kicking the dirt a little bit, kind of looks a little frustrated because he knows what that out would have meant. But he's got to have a short memory.
It was going to be a very tough play, though, even had he made the catch, because he was going to have to probably throw from his knees. And so it was going to be a very, very close play. But he did, as you said, he did everything he could. From the stretch, here's the 1-2 pitch, and that one is a fastball missing outside, evening things up at 2-2 with 2 away. Runner at first, the tying run across here in the 9th. 6-6. Sox will have 9-1-2 when they come up in the bottom of the 9th.
Yeah, like you mentioned, even if Pierce fields that ball and he's able to contain it, he's going to have to throw from his knees, and that's an incredibly difficult throw.
Spivey likes to hold that set for a long time, keep that runner off balance. 2-2 pitch is a slider that misses outside, and again backhanded by Ebel nicely to keep that ball from going astray. And now the count goes full. Jordan Sweeney 1 for 4 on the night with a couple of strikeouts, a ground out, and a single. And And he was aboard after that single for the 3-run homer hit by Michael Rosario. This will be a big payoff pitch coming from Spivey. Runner going, check swing, and
Ooh.
called a ball. Not sure where that was, but the home plate umpire did not think it was a strike, and so runners are at first and second with 2 outs.
Can't say I fully agree with that, but at the same time, I also don't have the best view, so I'll leave it up to him. But now it puts 2 on for Harrisonburg with Carlos Marte, one of their all-stars, up at the plate.
Marte has a single and an RBI tonight. He has got a stolen base. He walked and scored on the 3-run homer. He has struck out and he has grounded out. So he is 1 for 3 officially, an RBI and a run and a stolen base. Bats here with runners at first and second in a tie game. At the top of the 9th, there's 2 outs. Swings and fouls it back out of play.
I guess the only, if you want to look at it from a glass half full perspective, is now's a guy on base, another force opportunity, but I'm sure that Spivey's not looking at it that way.
No, I don't think so. Walter at second, Sweeney at first, Marte at the plate. 6-6, top of the 9th. From that long stretch, here comes Spivey's pitch, and that one misses outside. 1-1. We go back to the top of the order if Marte keeps it going. Clay Lockett.
Spivey cannot afford to let Marte on base. I'm not even more about Clay Lockett. I'm more about the other guys that could potentially come up. Spivey has to shut this thing down right now and give the Tom Sox a chance to win in the 9th without any more damage.
1-1 pitch, check swing, and a held up in time, and it's a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike to Marte. Marte came into the night hitting at .274 on the year. His 20 hits, mostly singles. He has 1 double out of the 20 hits, 3 runs batted in. He would like to deliver here with 2 outs.
It just feels like a different energy than when Andrew Ward was pitching.
2-1 offering, another check swing on a pitch outside, and he held up again in time, and it's now 3 balls and 1 strike to Marte.
Spivey really trying to work the outside part of that plate. Been just over a hair a couple of times.
3 balls, 1 strike to the belt, checks the runners. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss, and an off-speed pitch, and he needed that swing and miss, and it's now full 3-2, but now the runners will be moving. And so a base hit will almost assuredly score at least 1 run. If he hits 1 in the gap, you could get 2. So bad situation here with a 3-2 count, 2 outs, 2 on. Spivey to the set, checks back towards second. There go the runners. Here's the pitch. Missed it outside, and the bases are loaded. So back-to-back walks after the 2-out single that tied this game. And suddenly the Turks are putting together quite a threat. And we go back to the top of the order, and Clay Lockett, who has 1 hit and 5 trips tonight. A couple of strikeouts, a couple of ground outs. He started this game with a single. Now there's going to be a little chat on the mound between the catcher, Hebel, and Spivey. Spivey came in the 9th with 1 out. He was able to get a ground ball out his first hitter, but since then has not been able to get an out. He's given up a single and walked 2 hitters back-to-back. And now the pitching coach is heading out there.
Yeah, John Maley trying to talk it over Carter Spivey. Just kind of reassure his pitcher, calm him down. You know, make sure he understands what he needs to do, kind of reassure him of his abilities and his strength, and make sure that he understands that he can retire this next batter and that, you know, it's well within his capabilities. I think, like I mentioned before, I think baseball has a lot of mental components to it, and especially for a pitcher when things aren't going your way, especially late in a game, you tend to get down yourself. So he's saying, you know, keep your head up, young fella. Make sure you're, you know, still performing and retire this batter so you can get things done on the batting side.
And now control becomes a hugely important factor, but since there is nowhere to put this leadoff man, Clay Lockett, he is hitting here with 2 outs. The Turks have pushed across that tying run here in the 9th and in danger of taking the lead. Unless Spivey can get Lockett out of here without any further damage. So Turks at every base with 2 outs. Righty-righty matchup. Spivey likes to take the long look when he goes to the belt. Here comes the pitch. A fastball misses low. Ball 1. He likes to keep the ball down, and he has, when he misses, he seems to mostly miss on the low side.
Yeah, and another thing, too, is we can mention with control with the pass balls or wild pitch, anything like that's going to force that third baseman home. So you don't want to, you know, it's bad enough you tie it up in the ninth,
Yeah.
but to push the run ahead to be behind in the ninth.
There's a called strike on the outside corner to even things up at a ball and a strike to the leadoff man, Lockett. Walter is at third, Sweeney's at second, and Marte is at first for the Turks, who have put across the tying run here in the top of the ninth. From the set, here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball again missing low. 2-1.
Yeah, Spivey's really tried to paint two parts of the plate. This outside part here away from the batter and really, really low. So he needs to keep it up if he needs to register these strikes. He's already at 2-1 count. You cannot walk in the seventh run to put the Harrisonburg Turks up.
From the stretch, he kicks and deals. Breaking ball is bounced foul right straight behind him into the screen, and that evens things up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Getting tense here at Crutchfield Park. You heard the rhythmic clapping that was happening just, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes ago. Everyone's kind of on edge.
Tom Sox have enjoyed a lot of success recently, so I wonder if it's starting to catch up with them a little bit that they've been so hot, and now, you know, a team's giving them a scare, like especially a team that they've played really well against.
Spivey taking a long look at Ebel for the sign. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and he strands. The bases loaded. But the Harrisonburg Turks score a run after a single and another single that comes along after a pass ball. They leave them loaded, but they tie it up. So we are heading to the bottom of the ninth to see what the Tom Sox might do. Here in Charlottesville, the score is 6-6. It looks to me like we have Michael Rosario pitching.
That's what I'm trying to figure out right now.
He does have statistics as a pitcher. It's number 18 on the mound. He's a left-hander, so I'm guessing that is, but I'm not sure how he can do that.
It is Michael Rosario.
Okay, yes, I was thinking he came out of the game, but I guess he didn't. So this will be his 6th appearance on the year. Michael Rosario, he has worked into 10 innings with a 5.4 ERA. He's given up 13 base hits, 8 runs, 6 of them earned. He has struck out 8 and walked 5. He's got a win-loss record of 0-2 with 1 save.
Well, as a Tom Sox fan, that's something I like to hear.
So he will face Will Safford first. Lefty-lefty matchup here. And that pitch hit him. And so Safford barely moved, and he was fine to take that hit by pitch and draw it to start the 9th inning. We've talked about it. It's happened to the Sox tonight. They put leadoff hitters on by hit batsmen for 2 innings, and they both came around to score. And now a taste of their medicine coming back as Will Safford leads things off, taking a hit by pitch on the first one delivered by Michael Rosario.
And I'm excited. The only time I was on a broadcast, the Tom Sox, thanks to Trevor Candelario, walked off in the 9th. So hoping to repeat that here.
Maybe your good luck.
I try. Just don't ask me for lottery picks or March Madness suggestions. Heck, I'm a Philly fan. It's not good when it comes to other predictions, but I'll try here.
Sorry, I'm a Nats fan.
Oh, it's okay.
So Safford's going to go out to a big lead at first. He'll draw a throw. I remember the last time he was on, he likes to get out to a really big lead, and it'll be interesting to see if the Sox try to run him down or bunt him down in this tie ball game. He has got a huge lead, though. He has passed the first cutout.
Rosario's looking right at him.
Showing bunt is the hitter Bennett, and he will pull it back, and it's a called strike. Pierce Bennett, the leadoff hitter for the Sox, is hitless tonight with a walk. Big situation, though, here, if you want to deliver the bunt down. The Turks had a couple of situations tonight where they couldn't get the bunt down and fouled him twice and had to take the bunt off. Let's see what Bennett can do. Big lead again for Safford. Rosario from the stretch. Here's the pitch. Runner going. Pitches outside. Good throw down there. They're going to get him. It was a perfect throw from the catcher, McNeely. And once again, it happened earlier in this game where the pitch was outside, and got to think the Turks put the pitch out on because it made an easy opportunity for McNeely, and he threw a strike to cut down Safford.
Right when Safford was about 3/4 of the way to second base, he pretty much knew that he was going to be out, and he had him pegged, which is tough because Safford, like you mentioned, is so speedy.
And it was also a strike. Swing, and he poked it through the right side for a base hit, does Bennett. It wasn't sharply hit, but again, right where it needed to be. Sometimes those seeing eye hits can be really huge, and so Bennett is aboard with a one-out single, and that'll bring up Eddie Iser. Eddie Iser came on back in the 6th inning. He struck out in his only appearance tonight.
Eddie Iser made his appearance with this team on July 3rd in Percival, so hasn't even been with the team a full week yet. What a welcoming would it be here at Crutchfield Park to deliver the Tom Sox a win, should he be able to provide it for him.
So Pierce Bennett is on at first with one out after the caught stealing. From the stretch, runner is going. Here's the pitch. It's a called strike. Another throw down there. It's another good throw, and the ball gets by the second baseman. I think they might have had him. It was another good throw. McNeely has made some excellent throws tonight on stealing attempts, but that time the second baseman had trouble handling it as the slide was coming in at the same time, and so Pierce Bennett gets himself into scoring position on the stolen base.
I'm a basketball player by nature, and it almost looked like he was trying to shoot that like a foul shot in a way. It looked like he was just trying to more aim it to really force it down there. So kind of interesting throw. Is definitely not the same as the one that pegged Safford.
So Bennett is at second. So now you have the same situation that you were trying to accomplish with a bunt. One out and a runner in scoring position. So an Iser is 0-1 at the plate. He's a right-hand hitter facing a left-hander, which is Rosario, who came on here in the 9th inning for the Turks. Working from the stretch. Here's the pitch. Check swing. He was fooled badly on that, and Iserton is in a whole 0-2 with Garrick Ebel on deck. One out. Winning run is at second base here in the bottom of the 9th. Iser trying to make himself a hero early on in his Tom Sox career. Here's the pitch. Swing and a chopper. Left side, backhanded by the third baseman. He'll have to make the long throw. It's a high throw. Pulls the first baseman off the bag, and they collide with the runner. And I haven't seen a call yet from the umpire.
I haven't seen a call yet either.
I'm not sure what he's looking over there, and he's going to call time, I guess, and discuss it with the home plate umpires. Only I can figure, because I have not seen a call. There was a high throw at first, and then he was trying to tag him, and the runner and the first baseman collided on the play. Runner at second did not go, but I'm not sure what they're going to call there.
Yeah, Pierce was waiting to see how the throw would end up and how he could react and see if he could take third base.
Safe.
Good.
It was a tough play at third. Third baseman had to backhand it and make a high throw, but they're calling it an error on the third baseman. So runners at first and second now with still only one out. Runner at first really doesn't matter, though. It all does is extend the inning. Hopefully. Garrick Ebel will now be the hitter.
And Sweeney looked like he still kind of catches breath there for a second.
So the only run that matters is the runner at second base, which is Pierce Bennett. And Garrick Ebel now with a chance to be a hero. One out. Tie ball game here in the bottom of the ninth.
This is the kind of stuff that kids live for, you know. Bottom of the ninth, couple guys on, your team's tied. This is where you're playing in the backyard of the Sandlot.
Runner going from second. Here's the throw down. He is going to be out. Oh no, they called him safe. I swear I thought the umpire gave the outside.
I do not know how he's safe.
I don't either, but I thought the umpire gave the outside.
I don't know how he's safe. Bob Weiss does not agree.
No.
Bob Weiss is furious.
The throw was definitely there. See, the only thing that could have happened.
Now
was
the umpires are coming out to
Yep.
confirm, and I'm just hoping for the sake of the game that they don't change this call.
Yeah.
Was that a ball or strike anyway? Ball?
I just don't think in good conscience you can change the call now. I mean, that changes the entire pace of the game.
Yeah, I called him safe. I
Stay the
thought I
safe.
saw the umpire give the outside. That's why I was confused. I mean, the throw was there, and I thought I saw him raise a wrist.
I'm on the same page with you there. I really thought the tag was there in time. Tom Sock's lucky there, in my opinion. But now Garrick Ebel has one out, puts the ball in the right spot. This game's over.
So now they have to bring the infield in. That's the advantage of stealing third. That's sometimes questionable as to why you would steal third there, but it does change the course of everything, because now you've got the winning run 90 feet away. Infield has to pull in, and the outfield has to play shallow, because anything that goes deep is going to score a run. Now they'll intentionally walk Ebel, which makes sense, because now you've got a newer Tom Sox player coming up in Elijah Nunez, who came into the ball game back in the sixth inning. So they'll load the bases, because the only run that matters is the one at third, and this will set up a force. Though I'd be surprised if they do bring them in there. It looks like they're going to bring the middle infielders back to play for a double play just in case, but that's very risky, because if you don't turn it perfectly, then you lose. But second baseman is back at his normal position. The shortstop is playing about halfway at his normal position. They're in tight at the corners. Here's the first pitch to Nunez, and it's a called strike. Nunez drew a walk back in the seventh inning in his first at bat of the night.
A lot riding on this for Nunez. He's got to breathe, take his time, and just play his game. Don't get psyched out by the moment. Just play your at-bat.
Lefty-lefty matchup. Nunez is a left-hand hitter against the lefty. Here's a ground ball, slow roll on the right side. That's going to get through, and that's going to score the game-winning hit. As coming home to score is Pierce Bennett on the slow-rolling ground ball that counts as a hit for Elijah Nunez. So just like the seeing eye hit in the top of the ninth that the Turks got to tie it up, Nunez delivers a seeing eye hit in the bottom of the ninth to deliver the game winner.
You walk Garrick Ebel to bring up Elijah Nunez. He says, fine, took that personally, put one right between first and second, knocks in the run to make it 7-6 for the Tom Sox. Now 10-1 in their last 11 games.
So the Tom Sox pull it out after looking like they had kind of blown the lead in the top of the ninth. With a nice rally in the bottom half of the ninth, they do it with the benefit of only one base hit, and that was that last hit. Actually, check that, two hits. There was an error in the inning. There was an intentional walk. There was a hit batsman. But by the time it was all said and done, the Sox pulled out the win 7-6. The Sox at 7 runs, 12 hits, no errors. And the Turks 6 runs, 8 hits, 1 error. Wow.
Tom Sox has had to make sure we were awake. They said, we can't win too bad. We got to keep those announcers up in the booth in check. And they ended up rallying, and what a hit by Elijah Nunez. What a performance from all the Tom Sox guys. Couple of fireworks deep in the outfield, and just some solid pitching by Andrew Ward as the game went on. But a complete team effort from the Tom Sox as they win again here at Crutchfield Park. And
again, if you turned in late and you missed it, we had 2 big home runs from the Tom Sox back in the 5th. Adam Cesare hit a 3-run shot and then was followed up back-to-back by Wyatt Langford, and then right back in the next inning, the Turks got a 3-run homer from Michael Rosario, but Rosario was on the mound to lose it. And so that's it, the final score here in Charlottesville. The Charlottesville Tom Sox 7, the Harrisonburg Turks 6. Good night.